National Football League. Today from Texas Stadium, it's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Dallas Cowboys. Brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Mazda Cars and Trucks, including the all-new Mazda MPV. And by new Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Last Sunday, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City turns out to be a nightmare for the Cincinnati Bengals. Nick Lowry kicks this field goal, his 5th of the game, and Kansas City comes from 9 points back to beat the Bengals 31-28. So today in Dallas, the Bengals look for more of that big play offense, like this connection, Boomer Esiason to Eddie Brown. For the Cowboys, Kevin Sweeney makes his second start. 2 weeks ago, he was red hot as he threw 3 touchdowns in a second-half rally that just fell shy to the Giants. Week number 12 of the regular season, the Cincinnati Bengals thinking division championship, the Dallas Cowboys thinking next year. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Donovan, along with former Bengals quarterback Kenny Anderson. And you know, you have two teams playing against each other today that have to be in bad moods. First of all, Cincinnati. Ken, they let one slip away last week in Kansas City, and the Central Division Championship still isn't put away.
You know, although the Bengals lead by a game after losing to a 1-8 at that point Kansas City Chiefs team, I think the Bengals feel they have to win today. It's almost like it's slipping by them. They can't afford a loss to the Dallas Cowboys with a 2-9 record.
So Houston and Cleveland are still right behind the Bengals. As far as the Cowboys are concerned, they've lost 7 games in a row, and last Sunday night, boy, it can't get any worse. 43-3 they lost to the Vikings, so they got a lot to prove here today.
Well, you know, they've been embarrassed the last couple of weeks. They've been out of the game early. They've gotten blown out, and I think, you know, Tom Landry likes this football team. It's a very young football team. They're preparing for the future, so a game like today against Cincinnati can do a lot to build for next year.
Head coach Sam Weiss of the Bengals did an awful lot of work with special teams this week. They had a punt blocked in the loss at Kansas City that turned the game around. They fumbled on a kickoff. They didn't block very well on special teams, so they did a lot of extra work this week.
One of the things that they did is they worked live on their punt protection. Sam Weiss offered a $50 bonus to anybody that could get in and block one of Scott Fulhaig's punts. Nobody got in, so maybe the punt team is short up this week.
Ricky Dixon got close, but Sam said not close enough to win the $50.
He tipped it. He lost on a technicality.
This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Lee Johnson ready to kick it away as the Cowboys win the toss and have accepted to receive. Darryl Clack and Cornell Burbage are back deep, and we're underway on Sunday number 12. Burbage 2 yards deep in his end zone, and here he comes. He's got a little crease. Out to the 35, out to the 37-yard line, and Barney Bussey runs him out of bounds. Here comes Kevin Sweeney, and the Dallas Cowboys offense goes like this. Herschel went over 1,000 yards last week. Todd Fowler gets the start at fullback for the injured Newsome. Michael Irvin, a rookie out of Miami, their top draft choice at wide receiver. And this offensive line that you'll see coming up must protect Kevin Sweeney a lot better. He was eaten up against the Minnesota Vikings last week. A 37-yard return by Burbage. 1st and 10 Cowboys at their own 37-yard line. Sweeney to pass for the rookie Irvin. Incomplete. So they go big on play number 1. Lewis Phillips was on the coverage, and they say that Sweeney has a beautiful long ball touch. Can really lay it in there, as we saw it there. The front 3 for the Bengals. A little nicked up, especially at the ends. McClendon and Scow limping around on bad ankles. The linebackers, Reggie Williams playing in yet another season and having a good year. And the Bengals secondary. Watch for 33, David Fulcher. He's a powerhouse at strong safety. Up close to 240 pounds. We have an injured player down. Nate Newton, the left guard of the Cowboys, down, and they're checking out his right leg.
Well, that's an area where the Cowboys can't afford any injuries. They've been nicked up there a little bit in the past. They're a very young offensive line. They only average about 2.4 years of experience in the National Football League. And so to lose a guy like Nate Newton, one of their big offensive linemen, 314 pounds, would really hurt this afternoon.
They've got a couple of 300-pounders on that line. Kevin Gogan, the right tackle, is over 300 pounds, too. And the rookie at left tackle, Dave Waddell, out of Boston College. Boy, did he get a lesson last week against Dolman of the Vikings. That's where a lot of that pressure on Sweeney came from on that left side.
Well, you know, it's a situation where the offensive line, it's very difficult for him as we try to see what happened. His knee just kind of gets caught in there, and it looks like that's probably what it is. But certainly the offensive line is going to be the key for Kevin Sweeney, a very young quarterback. They need to give him time to throw, not time to establish himself this afternoon, gain a little bit of confidence.
So Newton leaves, hobbling on that right leg, and coming in at left guard will be 63 Glenn Titensor. He's out of Brigham Young, 6'4", 275 pounds. Kevin Sweeney, the numbers on 88. A great second half against the Giants 2 weeks ago. A nightmare first start against the Vikings last Sunday night here at Texas Stadium. And it's second down and 10. That's Thornton Chandler, the tight end, now moving in tighter on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Fowler in motion. Herschel Walker out to the 40 yards, and he ends up with 3 yards, and it will be third down and 7. NFC versus AFC. The AFC having a good season, 20-16.
Of course, that's got a lot to do with teams like Buffalo, that's 9-1, the Bengals 8-3. So it looks like the AFC coming up a little bit this year.
Going to be third down and long now for the Vikings. The Cowboys, 41-20, the best interconference records.
But they've beat up on a lot of teams over the years.
Yeah, they have. Not this year, though. Third down and 7. Fowler down in a slot on that bottom of your screen. And Chandler, the tight end, goes out wide. Sweeney on third and long. That's Michael Irvin. And the rookie carries into Cincinnati territory out at the 46-yard line, chased by Louis Billups. So it's the second time that Sweeney has gone to Irvin. And on pass number 2, they connect.
Boy, is it nice to have him back in the lineup for the Dallas Cowboys as we watch him here going one-on-one, man-to-man coverage against Louis Billups. Takes him into the inside, breaks out. Good timing by Kevin Sweeney there as he gets the ball to the outside for the first time. And I think good pass protection is one of the keys. There's the Bengals. Tim Crumroy going up the middle. He just doesn't give up, that bull rusher in the middle.
So Sweeney took a lick, but unloaded, and a 15-yard pass play and a first down to the Cincinnati 45. Fowler and Walker make up the backfield. Herschel gets the carry. And look at him dive through down to the Cincinnati 40-yard line. He'll end up with close to 6 yards.
You know, Herschel Walker is the offense for the Dallas Cowboys. He carries the ball about 84% of the time in the running game as we watch Herschel Walker from the end zone shot here. But the Dallas Cowboys doing a good job. You see Tim Crumroy getting double-teamed, pushed by there, and Herschel Walker just is so strong. One guy can't bring him down, breaks an arm tackle. He has great forward body lean in the running game.
Both Carl Zander and Jim Scow had a chance to get Walker, but he dipped right underneath him. Second down and 5 at the 40-yard line. Ray Alexander splits out wide left. Irvin to the bottom of your screen. Walker again. Inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line. The defensive end, 72, Skip McClendon gets up off the pack. Herschel came into today's game with 1,019 yards rushing, and he said, I'm not having a good year.
And that's the first time in his career, surprisingly, he's been over 1,000 yards. But one of the great running backs in the National Football League. If the Dallas Cowboys this afternoon can establish the running game, that's going to do a lot to take pressure off of Kevin Sweeney and having to throw the football.
The injured Danny White checking over the play selection there. Tom Landry off to Danny's right. People wondering if this might be it for Danny White, at least in Dallas in his NFL career. Right now you're looking at Kevin Sweeney. He might be the future. 3rd and 2, Walker. Oh, he didn't get to the sticks. Good defensive play. Tim Crumroy stretched it across, and then Eric Thomas finished the play off, but give it to 69 right there.
Tim Crumroy, the Bengals' leading tackler, which is surprising for a nose man. He just doesn't give up. He's off the ball. He reads the play. He tries to sprint to the outside, takes a good angle on Herschel Walker, and helps get in on the play. But Tim Crumroy is one of those guys, you don't expect your nose man to lead the team in tackles. He is Mr. Hustle for Cincinnati. Mike
Saxon is into punt. That's what Crumroy says about himself. He beat all the odds. And that's right, you can't measure heart or desire. Ira Hillary is back deep on the punt, if indeed they do punt on 4th down and 2. Crowd did not want to see the punting team come on. Maybe they have a reason when you're 2-9 and not going anywhere.
Well, what had happened there looked like Dallas maybe trying to draw the Bengals offside with that last-minute shift in the punting team, and they don't mind taking the delay of game here. It puts them 5 yards back, gives them a little bit better shot to put it inside the 20 for Saxon.
Let's see if the Bengals are going to take the penalty. They do. Gordon McCarter, your referee, checking in with his crew the first time today, as Sam Weitz now will watch Saxon step back and punt the ball from inside his 45-yard line.
I think one of the reasons Sam Whites took the penalty there, last week they saw a 1-8 team go for it on 4th and inches when you don't expect them to. Here they don't want to give Dallas any options.
Saxon will go straight up in the air. Hillary, fair catch called for. And into the end zone. Hit it about the 3 and then bounded out. So it will be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line when we come back to Texas Stadium. It's been a very good offense this year. It wasn't on the field enough last week in Kansas City. They want to be out on the field a lot more. Watch for this kid, 30, Ickey Woods, the rookie out of UNLV. Very powerful runner. And the offensive line, and they have been the key.
Oh, no question. 38 years of experience between the offensive line, led by Anthony Munoz. He's been to 7 straight Pro Bowls.
It was a 42-yard punt by Saxon, but it goes for a touchback to the 20-yard line. Here come the Bengals. McGee to the bottom of your screen, 85, as we look at Boomer Esiason. Quite critical of his team's effort last week in Kansas City. Roll out. Looking for McGee. Incomplete. Excellent coverage by 23, Robert Williams. And we'll check out the Cowboys defense, and they get off to a good start on play number 1. This is a 4-3 defense. Rare around the NFL these days. Ed Jones having an exceptional season at age 37. The linebackers, Burton, Lockhart, and Cobb. And the secondary, you just saw Robert Williams go stride for stride. Good corners, fast cornerbacks, and they'll need that speed today.
But lack of interceptions from their secondary. The Cowboys only have 7 as a team, which is the fewest in the National Football League.
2nd down and 10. Brooks and Woods behind Esiason. Scoreless early moments here at Texas Stadium. Brooks down the line in motion. A lot of time, and he threw it behind Tim McGee. And on the coverage was Ron Burton. Let's check in on Sunday, number 12 around the NFL. The Buffalo Bills can clinch today with a win. Cleveland jumps out 3-0 over Pittsburgh. Remember, they're behind the Bengals by a game. The Bears on the board with a touchdown. No score at the Metrodome. Check that. The Browns are behind 2 games to the Bengals. Houston's behind by 1. As we round out the scoreboard there, Detroit, Green Bay scoreless, as is Seattle, Kansas City. 3rd down and 10. As Esiason delivered right behind the ear of McGee, and he was open as he had a linebacker, Burton, covering. Eddie Brown in motion. Again, a lot of time, but nobody open, and it ends up as Jim Jeffcoat getting in there and getting Esiason down by the ankles. That's a coverage sack, really.
There's no question about it. Boomer Esiason had a lot of protection. There was nobody open downfield as the Cowboys play man-to-man coverage. Cowboys have a great defensive line, put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. Bengals offensive line did a nice job. There was just nobody for Boomer to go to.
So Boomer over to the sideline talking with both Eddie Brown and Tim McGee as you watch it again. And watch Esiason. He's in that pocket, and he's okay. A lot of time.
He just tries to scramble up in there, and Jeffco gets him around the ankles for the sack.
Scott Fulhag into punt. Kelvin Martin takes it at his own 40. And that's pretty good special teams coverage there. Solomon Wilcots is down to make the tackle for the Bengals as Martin carries over the 40-yard line. 2-yard return on a 40-yard punt. Cowboys up to bat when we come back in a scoreless tie. Early moments at Texas Stadium, and already a better start for the Cowboys on this Sunday, even though it's scoreless. But I'm surprised both teams have really opened it up.
Well, they have, I think. Surprisingly, with Kevin Sweeney, the first play of the game, he tries to go deep. I think they want to loosen that Bengals defense up as much as they can. And
the Bengals went 3 passes, all incomplete, 3 and out. Actually, on the third one, Esiason tried to throw and never got it off as Jeffcoat came in and finally got him. Sweeney now up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10, the Cowboys with good field position at their own 42-yard line. Chandler down the line in motion, the tight end. They go to Herschel Walker, and he's tied up right away. And then spins off and gets a couple of yards. So you see, he's never really down until he's finally on the turf. Fulcher and White come in and make the tackle.
And here's one of the big matchups of the day. Tim Crumrye, the veteran nose tackle against the young center Bob White. And White doing a pretty good job staying into Tim Crumry there. And that's about as good as you're going to do on Tim Crumry.
Incidentally, an injury report from the Dallas sideline. Nate Newton, the left guard, went out with a right ankle sprain. They're icing it down. They don't know if he will return as we watch Tim Crumry on that Cincinnati defense. Second down and 6 to go. Walker turned a 1-yard gain into a 4-yard gain. Not this time, though. They were sitting right in the middle of the line waiting for him. Jim Stow is there, and you know 69 Crumry will be there, and there he is.
You know, talking with some of the Bengals defensive coaches, he said, this is like coaching a high school game. He says, there's one guy you got to stop, that's Herschel Walker. As we say, Herschel Walker has done a lot for the Dallas Cowboys offense.
He's over 1,000 yards rushing. Receiving-wise, he's close to 500 yards with 42 catches. He only has 1 rushing touchdown on the season, though.
Which is surprising. The Cowboys as a team only have 5.
Well, they got no gain on that last play. 4 wide receivers in for the Cowboys on 3rd and 6. Incomplete. Lewis Phillips on the coverage. Coming in was Leo Barker, a linebacker, was in the backfield. They tried to get it to Michael Irvin, and that's been the guy that Sweeney's been picking out so far today.
Leo Barker did a nice job coming around the corner there, forcing Sweeney to throw the ball early.
Sweeney right over to the sideline of the Brain Trust. Landry, Pallur, and White all over there. And Mike Saxon is in for his second punt. Number 1 was a good one, but he didn't get it out inside the 20-yard line. It went into the end zone. And Ira Hillary stands back deep for the Bengals. It's a low kick. And Hillary makes the catch, knee level, and brings it out to the 22-yard line. Tackle made by Steve Diossi. Tom Landry watches. 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Those were the comments of Boomer Esiason. And after the 31-28 loss, some guys can get away with saying that. How did his team react?
Well, I think Boomer is no question the leader of this ball club. He's having a good year, so you can say things like that.
Well, you can back it up out on the field. It's okay to pop off like that. Second possession for the Bengals. Coleman, the tight end, in motion. James Brooks, his first carry of the day, goes out over the 25-yard line. There's a flag down. Let's go around the NFL right now as Brooks goes back to the huddle. Still scoreless. And the Browns on a Matt Barr field goal lead over Pittsburgh 3-0. Browns trying to shed a 2-game losing streak. Chicago with a touchdown, 7-0. And that's a big game for Indianapolis. They've won 5 in a row.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
The Lions with their new coach today, 3-0, jump out to the lead as Darryl Rogers was fired.
Ed Too Tall Jones lined up in the neutral zone that time and gave the Bengals an easy 5 yards.
First down at 5 now. After the penalty on the Cowboys, they had 15 penalties in the loss last Sunday night to the Vikings. Wide open, Eddie Brown. And this is when he becomes a big problem for a defense. He can run so well after he catches the ball, and he ran it well there down to the 46-yard line of Dallas and out of bounds.
You know, Eddie Brown averaging over 23 yards per catch. Of course, leads the NFL in receiving yards. You're going to see a lot of man-to-man coverage by the Dallas defensive secondary. Here, Boomer Esiason has plenty of time to throw, loose coverage. Eddie Brown is most effective running the football as he breaks a tackle and takes it up the sidelines for big yardage.
26 yards. Downs drives him out. And the Bengals finally get their passing game on track. First and 10, Cincinnati. At the Dallas 46-yard line. Ickey Woods in the backfield, the lone back, and he gets the ball. A flag goes down as Woods backs into a bunch of Dallas tacklers inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Ron Burton and Eugene Lockhart in on the tackle. And we'll check out the call. Been a very good pick, Ickey Woods.
Of course, he led the NCAA in rushing last year's, come in 9 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, just when we go to pay him a compliment, he went illegal motion. 5 yards coming up on Ickey Woods and the Bengals. A reminder to our viewers that we will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. Sam White signaling out something. First down and 15 now as the penalty brings the Bengals back into their own backyard at the 49. Riggs the tight end in motion. Good play action fake. And Esiason throws the ball away. I don't know who it was intended for as he got nailed down to the ground on a blitz. It was Gary Cobb coming from the right side and got in on Boomer.
Well, they were trying to go play-action pass and get the ball deep to Timmy McGee. The Bengals are a great play-action play team. Here's Gary Cobb comes in. He's going to put the shot on Boomer Esiason. That's one of those plays down the field the wide receiver tries to read. If there's a free safety, I'll take it to the corner. If there's no free safety, I'll take it to the post. That time, a little miscommunication, obviously, because Boomer Esiason couldn't stand there and look any longer.
They're a very good play-action or run-action fake team.
That's because the Bengals are second in the league in rushing the football.
Second down and 15. Coleman in motion. And a sweep to Brooks. Oh, a good run by Brooks, and he might break it. Touchdown, Bengals.
James Brooks with the explosive play taken to the outside and going for the touchdown. James Brooks is averaging 5.3 yards per carry, which leads the National Football League. And here we look at the replay of it. Joe Walter gets into too tall. He escapes to the inside. He's got a pretty good angle, it looks like, but James Brooks just outruns him to the outside, makes a move to the inside, and he is history. James Brooks with great speed, and nobody is going to catch him as the Bengals take the early lead.
51-yard touchdown run by James Brooks, and there he goes. I don't know if he got touched along the road.
I don't believe he did. Good blocking by the Bengals.
Extra point by Jim Breach is good. James Brooks with a big touchdown run, and the Bengal offense connects and leads 7-0. James Brooks' 7th rushing touchdown of the season is a big one. He goes 51 yards with some superb blocking, and the Bengals lead 7-0. That's the drive. The big play, so it isn't a long drive, is it? And it didn't take much time.
Well, the Bengals have been a big play offense all year long. You think of it in the passing game, but that time James Brooks just explodes for that touchdown run.
Lee Johnson set to kick it away. Flack and Burbage back deep. Flack was the closest to your screen. And he runs up to take a short kick. Darryl Flack out over the 25 to the 28-yard line. Sweeney back on the field, and let's watch James Brooks go.
It all starts, there's Rodney and Holman in motion. Here's a good block up inside by Stanley Wilson. You see Rodney Holman get it right there in your picture, gets a good block on the outside. Too tall, can't catch James Brooks. Now watch who's going to come into the picture at the top of your screen. It's Anthony Munoz right there with the crushing block that springs James Brooks for the distance. Anthony Munoz came all the way from the left side of the formation to make that block.
What a beautiful block that was. 1st and 10, Dallas trailing 7-0. They have the ball out at their own 28-yard line. Sweeney, and it is caught by Doug Cosby, the tight end. It looked like it was intended for Fowler, the fullback coming out of the backfield, went over his head, and there is Cosby coming and making the catch.
Well, 2 receivers in the same area, but obviously Doug Cosby was the one that it was intended to, as he's the all-time Cowboys leading receiver among their tight ends. And a good confidence builder for Kevin Sweeney to come out and hit that pass on 1st down.
Cosby checks out. 7-yard pickup, 2nd down and 3. If you watch something, though, compare Boomer Esiason faking to his running backs and Sweeney setting up a play-action fake. He just did it on the last play, and it didn't really fool too many people. I think that's because he's so anxious to unload the ball. Irvin in motion. 2nd and 3. He could run for the 1st down, and does. Out of bounds into the Bengal bench at the 43-yard line, chased out by Leon White, and that's what Tom Landry likes about Sweeney, the mobility.
Well, and they like to move him around in the pocket a little bit to take advantage of his quickness, get him outside. I think he likes to throw the football on the run. That time was a good design play. He's got the option to run or pass, which is nice to put him in a situation like that.
Dallas has been very close to winning a number of games. Look at that. Heartbreak in the last couple of minutes.
I think that comes with being a young football team. A lot of penalties, turnovers at crucial points of the game.
1st and 10 after the scramble by Sweeney. Like a power I formation, and then they shift out of that. And Herschel Walker gets up close to the 45-yard line, and he stopped there. Carl Zander is in on the pack. Joe Kelly there, too. Now the Oilers jump out 7-0 over Phoenix after losing a heartbreaker themselves last week in Seattle. Houston's only a game back of these Bengals. Cleveland's winning, so it's important that Cincinnati wins here today. Chicago now laying it on Tampa Bay 14-0. Indianapolis, Minnesota still scoreless. And the other games, Kansas City, after their win last week over these Bengals, jump out 7-0. And the Lions holding on to a field goal lead. Walker got 2 on first down. And it's 2nd down and 8. 7-0. Bengals lead on a 51-yard touchdown run by James Brooks. Sweeney to Irvin. Incomplete. Flag goes down. They're going to get Eric Thomas on some tight coverage. And the helmet comes off, pleading his case, but pass interference on Thomas.
Eric Thomas not happy about that call. You're never going to change the officials' minds in a call like that, though. And we're going to look at the replay of it. Eric Thomas appears to have pretty good coverage, pretty good position right now as Irvin makes the plant. Went through him to try to get to the ball, although maybe that ball couldn't have been caught, though.
I was just going to say to you, was it a catchable ball?
It looked high to me, but I think it was one of those close ranges where it's not obviously over his head. Let's take one more look.
Now watch Ken right here. He's going to go up, and this one is way over his head.
Whoa. Close call.
The penalty gives him a 1st and 10 on the interference call at the 44. And Herschel Walker finds a crease. His best running play of the day down to the 38-yard line. Joe Kelly drags along with Walker, but Herschel carried him for the yardage and a good first down play.
And Herschel Walker only needs a crease to run the football. Let's see if we can see the wide receivers playing a big part in this game. Here Irvin comes in looking for a block on David Fulcher. Gets into him. That's not bad. Fulcher's 240 pounds for Irvin to come in and try to get a block on.
7 yards for Herschel. 2nd down and 3 at the 37 of Cincinnati. Irvin and Alexander, the wide receivers. Walker, the lone back. He throws for the tight end, Folsom. And he goes out at the 30-yard line. Solomon Wilcox, the safety, comes up to stop the tight end. They've used 3 tight ends already in this game. Cosby, Folsom, and Chandler, who started.
And that time they're playing with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receiver, and only Herschel Walker in the game. That time of formation where there is no strength or weakness to the offensive formation, he just throws away from the strength of the Bengals defense.
It's a 1st down now at the 30-yard line, so Sweeney directing the team nicely here on their 3rd drive of the game. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go, first quarter. And it's Herschel Walker down to the 26-yard line. Zander, Wilcox, and Tim Crumrise leaning and getting up off the path.
And then we're going to see Tim Crumry in the middle once again as he works against the interior of the Dallas Cowboy line. He just is so strong. Men are into him, blocking him. He's still got enough strength to get to the ball carry and get in on the help with the tackle.
Ball down to the 26-yard line. 4 yards for Herschel Walker. And it's been a meeting of Walker and Crumry a lot here in the first 11 minutes of this game. 2nd and 6. A fake. Sweeney better get rid of that one. And he does down at the 20-yard line. The Bengals saying that he grounded the ball. No flag thrown.
Or was he in the grasp, are they claiming? The Bengals coming with the blitz on that, so they're going to be playing man-to-man coverage in the secondary, and pretty good coverage. Here we're going to see David Fulcher, or there's Michael Irvin going off the line. Lewis Phillips trying to get over there. Pretty good coverage. Allowed the blitz of the Bengals to get in on Sweeney.
Jason Buck and Carl Zander were the guys that wrapped up Sweeney when he delivered the ball, and there wasn't a Cowboy in sight. That's what the Bengals were saying. 3rd down and 6. And he threw the ball behind Michael Irvin. Good coverage again by Lewis Phillips.
Again, Irvin had a step on Phillips early, but they couldn't get him the ball on time. Waited for the crossing pattern to clear, and by that time, Phillips had closed up and covered Irvin on that play.
Sweeney back over to the sideline. A good drive, was moving so well, and then they just unplugged themselves.
Well, you know, that's been the story of the Dallas Cowboys all year long. They have trouble converting on 3rd downs. They're about 8th in the NFC in their 3rd down conversion percentage.
It's a 44-yard field goal attempt for Roger Ruzick. The longest of the season, 50 yards. That came last Sunday night against the Vikings, right here at Texas Stadium. Steve Pallure to hold. And the Cowboys trying to get on the board. And they are there. 44-yard field goal by Roger Ruzick. And it's 7-3 now. Cincinnati with the lead. 4:11 left to go in the first quarter.
Well, Ruzick's now made his last 6 field goals in a row. I think that's a nice situation for the Dallas Cowboys where they can go down and get points in the first quarter. You know, especially for Kevin Sweeney, a tough situation for him today. Tom Landry has said that if he doesn't get off to a good start, he may get yanked in favor of Steve Pallure. He may rotate quarterbacks in and out during the game. So I think that does a lot for to boost the confidence of Kevin Sweeney.
Cincinnati leading the AFC Central Division. But remember, as you look at the 8-3 mark, remember at one point they were 6-0, and they had a big lead over Houston and Cleveland. But now, especially Houston's right in the hunt. And remember, they have to play later on this year in Houston.
Well, you know, the Bengals have lost 3 out of their last 5 after that 6-0 start, and lost their last 3 games on the road. So it's a situation where the Bengals can't afford to let things slip away from them.
And you know, they had a lot of those Central Division games. They've had all of them so far really at home.
That's exactly right.
They've had them at Riverfront Stadium where they have not lost this year.
And they're calling Houston now the House of Pain, a very difficult place to win.
And a lot of teams can attest to that. Phoenix is in there today. And Houston, as we saw on our 10-minute ticker, jumped out 7-0. Houston will be right here at Texas Stadium and on NBC this coming Thursday on Thanksgiving Day to take on the Cowboys in the Battle of Texas.
And we've just received word that wide receiver Ray Alexander has a bruised shoulder. He should be back later on.
Stanford Jennings and Ira Hillary back deep to take the kickoff of Ruzick. Jennings broke one last week for 98 yards and a touchdown. And it's Stanford Jennings from his 4. Good coverage by the Cowboys. Loose football. And they say that Jennings was already down. Tackle made by Steve Diossi. And also in there on the coverage was Mark Whalen and Garth Jacks. And there was a fumbled kickoff return by the Bengals last week that let Kansas City kick the winning field goal. And here's Stanford Jennings, as you said, Buster won 98 yards, takes it up in the middle. There's the hit. The ground caused the ball to pop out. Of course, the ground in the National Football League cannot be the cause of a fumble. 1st and 10 now. Cincinnati at the 21-yard line, leading 7-3. Ickey Woods. And a nice run on 1st down for Ickey Woods. Out close to the 29-yard line. Chased down by Michael Downs and by Eugene Lockhart. And good job by the Bengals offensive line allowing Ickey Woods to get to the corner. And so we're going to take another look at it. Boomer Esiason is going to really have to stretch to get the ball, but there's Anthony Munoz on the left side on Jeff Coat, gets him down on the ground, and that's what gave Ickey Woods a chance to turn the corner. 2nd down and 2, 8 yards on 1st down for Ickey Woods. It's Brooks and Woods in the backfield, and Woods heading out in motion. Going to go to Brooks. And there he goes again. James Brooks to the midfield stripe and out of bounds as Joe Walter looks as though he sealed a big hole for him around that right side. Just a gaping hole for James Brooks to run through as he takes it up inside. We'll watch it again. Boomer Esiason sprinting to his left. James Brooks goes back to the right, but there's Joe Walter on that Too Tall Jones. Gets him to the outside. There's the point of attack there. Eddie Brown trying to get a block, and James Brooks with the speed to turn the corner. And finally, discretion is the better part of valor. I'll take it out of bounds. Good job, Max Montoya. Joe Walter right at the point of attack, giving James Brooks the chance to get started. 21 yards on that run by Brooks. Here's Ickey Woods. Well, this time, Joe Walter can't get the block down. And Ed Too Tall Jones comes back fighting and storming mad, and he tosses Ickey Woods down for a loss on the play, probably of 2 yards. Well, they ran right at Jones and said, we'll try it again. And that time, he just made a great play on Joe Walter, playing off the block, making the tackle. Here he is. He's isolated on Joe Walter. He comes in there, just does a good job with his hands and fighting off the block. Maybe that's when Ickey Woods should have tried to take up inside when Joe Walters had that inside position. Good play by Jones. 37 years old and having a fine season. Ed Too Tall Jones. A loss of 1, 2nd down, 11. Eddie Brown down the line in motion for the Bengals. Esiason, and Eddie Brown cannot make the fingertip catch at the 37-yard line. He was wide open. Let's go around the league right now as we go back to the scoreboard on Sunday, number 12. Houston still leading, and the Browns have added a touchdown. 10-0 now over Pittsburgh. The Bengals to their attack offense. Ickey Woods makes the catch. There's a flag down at the 45, at the 44-yard line, and tackled by Jeffcoat. As the Bengals went quickly to their attack offense, no huddle right up to the line of scrimmage. Let's finish up our business now with the 10-minute ticker. Tampa Bay on the board with a field goal, and Minnesota with a field goal themselves, leading Indianapolis 3-0. Kansas City and Detroit, your leaders in those games.
Illegal motion. Offense was not set for a required 1 second after movement of several players. Penalty is declined. Fourth down.
So look at the AFC West. Denver playing New Orleans today. Seattle losing that game. And the Raiders 6-5. 6-5 is your magic number record around the NFL these days. Here's a quick kick by Esiason on 4th down and short yardage. And he puts it out of bounds at the 22-yard line. How about that? Boomer getting a little extra pay today.
Well, the Bengals pulling out all pages of their playbook this afternoon, and I couldn't tell if that ball might have been tipped a little bit. But trying to do that, there's nobody back to return the punt for Dallas in a situation like that. When you've got your quarterback in the game, you just try to get the punt back inside the 20-yard line. As we take another look at it.
You know, if it did tip anybody, it might have tipped his own man on the way out because he was very close to one of his blockers in front of him. 7-3. Bengals with the lead. 2:02 left, first quarter here at Texas Stadium. And Dallas with the ball at the 22-yard line. Kelvin Martin checks into the lineup. Dallas goes with 4 wide receivers. Alexander to the top of the string. Here comes Herschel. A first down out to the 35-yard line. Herschel Walker just cruising through would-be Bengals tacklers.
Well, the Cowboys spread them out with 3 wide receivers in the game, put Herschel Walker there, and good hole up the middle. You see both the offside linemen pulling. There, Herschel Walker sees the hole, cuts it up in there, breaks 1 tackle, spins, another man hits him. He is just so tough to bring down. Great strength.
Here's the quick kick by Boomer Esiason again. Now watch. Gets it out. Oh, yeah, that was clean. It just sounded funny. First and 10. Sweeney going up top, and big for Irvin. Incomplete at the 25-yard line. Lewis Phillips and Irvin, stride for stride. That was excellent coverage.
It was. Lewis Phillips does a good job. Did you notice how high that ball went in the air when Sweeney threw it? Lewis Phillips, again, good coverage. Stride for stride. The ball a little bit underthrown, but he kept it to the outside. If only one person's got a shot to make it, and that, of course, is Irvin. That's on your team. You don't get the interception.
Boy, he arcs that ball in there.
Good strong arm by Sweeney.
Second down at 10. Cowboys with it at the 35-yard line. Kelvin Martin back in at a wide receiver spot. It's to Herschel Walker. Reggie Williams gets him down by the ankles and knocks him down, because if he had gotten by Williams, I think he had that corner.
Well, Reggie Williams, one of the elder statesmen on the Bengals defense, in his 13th year, did a nice job playing off a blocker, stringing it out and making the tackle.
So Reggie Williams from Dartmouth back over to the sideline. Herschel Walker into the Cowboy huddle. They've got problems now. 3rd down and 11.
It's tough to convert on 3rd down and 10 all the time. You need to make yards on 1st down. Obviously, that's the biggest cliche in football. You need to do something on 1st down, but I think it's very, appropriate that the Cowboys just are struggling on offense. You need to do something early. Put yourself in 3rd and short.
They're in a passing formation. 4 wide receivers. Everett Gay comes in. Ray Alexander. Martin is in, and Burbage is in. 3rd and 11. Here's the blitz from the outside. Ray Horton was coming in there, and David Fulcher almost picks it off at the 25-yard line. Boy, was Horton close to knocking down Sweeney.
Well, the Bengals committed to the blitz here, and he goes through clean as David Fulcher was back there helping out in the coverage. David Fulcher having a great year for the Cincinnati Bengals. And here you see Jim Scout taking the outside And there's Ray Horton as he puts a big lick on Kevin Sweeney.
Saxon punts, and this one goes off the side of his foot. And gets a pretty good Cowboy roll after that, because that could have been a disaster the way that thing left his foot. And it's still rolling, now hoping for one of those Texas Stadium winds to blow it down at the 21-yard line, and it finally stops.
Well, they were down low. They may have been blowing themselves.
Only 3 seconds left to go in the first quarter as Cincinnati leads 7-3. Coming up at halftime, scores and highlights from around the league on this Sunday, number 12, as we have big games going on with a lot of playoff possibilities.
Well, they say if you're going to get into the playoffs, you need to win in November. A big month around the league for teams to set up to their playoff potential.
Incidentally, the Cowboys have not won since September. They went 0 for October, and unless they come up with a win here today or Thanksgiving Day against the Oilers, they'll go for 0 for November, too. Eddie Brown late coming in to the Bengal offensive lineup. You just saw him racing across, picked up the play, I think, when he ran by Boomer. Last play of the first quarter. Incomplete to Chris Collinsworth at the 30-yard line, and that does it for quarter number 1 here at Texas Stadium. James Brooks with a 51-yard touchdown run has the Bengals in the lead over the Cowboys, 7-3. In the background, Tom Landry talking with Herschel Walker. Herschel's had one good run today, but boy, James Brooks has had 2 good runs, and one of them ended up very good, 51 yards for a touchdown.
Well, obviously, that's the big play of the first quarter, but from a Dallas standpoint, they have not turned the ball over. They've not gotten themselves in the hole early where they've been forced to throw the football. Down 7-3, you still got all the game plan effective.
And the Cowboys' defense has done very well against a fine Bengals offense. First quarter numbers, how do you size them up there, Ken?
Well, you know, the Bengals are second in the National Football League in rushing, so no surprise that they've got 79 yards. And again, time of possession a little overrated sometimes. The Cowboys dominating that, but still behind on the scoreboard.
So now you say last week against Kansas City, Cincinnati didn't have the ball an awful lot, and today they once again are heading into that direction.
Well, I think it just goes to show maybe a little bit of vulnerability by the Bengals defense. It's the old bend but don't break theory, but you've got to get this powerful offense onto the field more.
And the Bengals begin the second quarter with Esiason bringing them out now at their 21-yard line. And it's second down and 10. On first down on the last play of the first quarter, Esiason threw incomplete to Collinsworth. They go back to James Brooks. Brooks heads up into a hole and gets out near the 25-yard line. The middle linebacker, Eugene Lockhart, and the left defensive tackle, Kevin Brooks. And now once again, quickly into the tack mode. Cowboys had about 15 players on the field as Boomer goes down, but this one is going to be flagged against Dallas, because that's why the Bengals do that no-huddle offense. As soon as they see you making defensive substitutions, they attack.
The Bengals are very good at that. The Cowboys trying to bring 5 men onto the field. The Bengals just won't allow them to do it, as they're going to get an easy 5-yard penalty here.
Danny Noonan and Jim Jeffcoat ended up bringing Esiason down, but I think when they sort this out, I counted 15 Cowboys on the field.
You know, and I think it's a situation where Dallas felt going into the game that they could do it. They could make the substitutions.
The offense was not set. 1 second. Defense had 14 people on the field.
Oh, they only had 14.
Offset one another, still third down.
You know, but it's interesting. That's the second time the Bengals have tried to do it and been caught for illegal motion.
Third down and 6. And they're right up there again, ready to go. No chance to look around at all on defense or to congratulate the guy beside you if he made the tackle on the last play, because the Bengals are right up to that line of scrimmage. Now they're at third down and 6. And he's got his tight end. Rodney Holman with the catch at the 40-yard line. Driven out by Manny Hendricks, and a first down for Cincinnati. Still Buffalo and the Jets scoreless. Houston's got 3 more and leads 10-0. Bernie Kosar's thrown a touchdown pass, at least one in that game, to Derek Cannell. 17-0 at home. And the Browns had floundered the last couple of weeks, so they needed that one today. Chicago still leading 14-3. Minnesota by a field goal. And Detroit's added another field goal. 7-3 here at Texas Stadium. Just started in the second quarter. Ickey Woods got a big hole. Lockhart will make the tackle out at the 49-yard line, but Ickey Woods goes off the left side of that line and finds a nice crease there.
Well, the Bengals offensive line, not a fancy line. They don't do a lot of pulling, a lot of trapping. The old mush plays up the middle. They're so big and strong, they like to run the football straight ahead. I think it's worth mentioning at this point, one of the few four-man line teams the Bengals have faced, and so far doing a good job of figuring out the blocking schemes in the running game.
So if you're Boomer Esiason, or when you played in front of this line, you sleep well on Saturday night. You know you're going to be protected pretty well.
And you're not going to wake up sore on Monday morning.
9 yards on first down. 2nd and 1. Brooks had nowhere to go. Gary Cobb and a host of other Cowboys were there, but Cobb drives Brooks out of bounds, and James got out of there, too. He didn't try and make a play out of this. He saw there was nothing there.
You just kind of cut your losses as best you can. Let's take another look at that one. You see Jim Riggs, the tight end, going in motion. James Brooks running left. Ickey Woods trying to get into Gary Cobb. Does a nice job playing off the block and making the tackle, forcing James Brooks out of bounds. That's a real good play by Gary Cobb.
And they lose one and make it 3rd and 2. Collinsworth into the lineup at a wide receiver spot for the Bengals. Brooks in motion. They give it to Woods. Well, it looked as though he had it, and then he got pushed back by Noonan and Bill Bates. Let's see where the forward progress marks him, and if he did get the first down.
They're going to take a look at it, but it appeared that his forward momentum took him past the first down marker. It's going to be close. Again, good body surge by Ickey Woods, a powerful running back. Ickey Woods, about 232 pounds out of University of Nevada, Las Vegas in his rookie year, but 9 touchdowns rushing already. He's had a tremendous rookie season.
So let's see what the measurement has right now, and it is going to be first down Cincinnati.
We'll take another look at it. If we look right down the line of scrimmage, nice surge by the Bengals offensive line, and there he is. The forward body lean takes him across the first down marker.
He gets a lot of those inside the 5-yard line. He is the designated guy to go get it. When they're down first down and goal, they love to give it to Ickey Woods. 1st and 10. Right at the midfield stripe. Bengals lead 7-3. And Esiason looking for Holman again. Oh, nice catch. At the 30-yard line. Big man going down low like that. That's a heck of a catch. We have a flag down. This one could be coming back. And it is coming back. It's a trip against the Bengal offensive line, I believe, as they knock down a pass rusher.
Well, Boomer Esiason did a good job of reading the blitz that time. Bill Bates, the strong safety, on the line of scrimmage, blitzing.
Number 78, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Munoz is nailed for the penalty. Watch this beauty by Rodney Holman.
Has not been a large factor of the Bengals offense so far, only 23 catches, but here, the ball coming in low. Great fingertip catch as he goes down to make the catch. Too bad.
Anthony Munoz is the man that was caught for tripping. In the NHL, he'd get 2 minutes, but right here, he ends up with 10 yards. So it's first down and 20. Back at the 41-yard line. James Brooks. Well, a couple of yards. Again, the Cowboys had a lot of people over there to stop the play. Lockhart is there. Michael Downs, the free safety, comes up.
I'll tell you, a good job by the Cowboys of stringing it out here, letting the pursuit catch up, and I counted 7 Cowboys around the football. As Danny Noonan hustling down the line of scrimmage. Boy, that is Cowboy defensive line loaded with #1 draft choice. They start 4, and they got a first rounder on the bench in Randy White.
So you got 5 right there, and if you're going to play the 4-3 defense, you got to get quality people. 2nd down, 16. That sweep only netted 4 yards. A lot of time. And a lot of running room, too. And he gets down inside the 45-yard line. Jeff Coat chased him down. Good decision by Esiason, if he's okay. Yeah, he's all right getting up.
There was just nobody open down the field. Boomer did a nice job of stepping up into the pocket and finding the running lanes. As we take a look at it again, Again, watch the pocket form here. Nice job by Bruce Reimers. Bruce Gazurski looking for somebody to block. When it starts to close in, Boomer Esiason sees the lane, takes it up in there. With the Cowboys playing man-to-man defense, there's nobody to cover the quarterback. Once you break the line of scrimmage, you've got room to run.
I want to ask you, do you have a feel for that, when to take off? Does he feel that?
It's a sense you feel the pocket closing in on you.
3rd down and 4. From the Cowboy 43. Again, a lot of time. And Eddie Brown juggles and hangs on inside the 35-yard line to the 33, and a Cincinnati first down. Boy, Boomer had a lot of time to pick and choose, and he saw 81 wide open across the middle.
Again, the Cowboys a heavy man-to-man team in coverage. We're going to see, again, good time. Eddie Brown just walked off the line of scrimmage, letting things clear out. We'll see him. And there he comes by to make the catch. Again, good job up front by the Bengals offensive line, sorting things out, giving Boomer, again, separation from the line of scrimmage to see downfield.
He ended up with Everson Walls coming over and making the tackle. Eddie Brown having a good start again today. First down, Cincinnati. Esiason dumps it to Brooks. And at the 30-yard line, a short gain as he's tackled by Randy White and Bill Bates.
And good job by Boomer Esiason. It's frustrating when you drop back to pass. There's good coverage down the field. The line is getting into you a little bit, and you dump the ball offshore where they can't get to you.
So it's the first time today we've had an opportunity to call the name of a great All-Pro, Randy White. He's had a lot of neck trouble. That's why he's got that extra padding up around his shoulder pads.
Of course, you know, couldn't go through training camp. Was an assistant coach in training camp until the doctors okayed him to start practicing it. A great career, though.
He's in there a lot on pass situations, and there he is in that familiar crouch down there. 2nd down, 7, and Brooks reads a good hole again to the right side and gets down to the 25-yard line. He'll be short of a first down by a couple of yards. Brooks, a good reading back up to the line of scrimmage and then darted right.
Get real quick feet by James Brooks. You see him go up there. His feet always in motion as he looks for the hole.
Here they are again on that attack offense, looking for Ira Hillary in the corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Esiason, I think, looking over to the sideline, saying to the official pointing over there that the Cowboys had too many people on the field again. And that's what Sam is saying also.
But there is no flag on the field. Sam very livid about it. I think he said they were astride from the field. Tim McGee joining in the action over there.
Now a flag goes down, thrown from way in back of the pack at about the 20-yard line. So they did call a penalty finally.
Apparently they made up their minds late that there were too many on the field.
Boy, very late.
This is a couple weeks in a row I've seen late flags by the officials, and it's tough to figure out what's going on, but apparently the no-huddle offense worked that time for the Cincinnati Bengals.
So at first there was no flag down, then well after the play, a couple of flags went down, and it's a first down for the Bengals at the Dallas 20. Again, a beautiful fake by Esiason, and Holman is wide open. Can he get in? Touchdown, Cincinnati! What a beautiful fake to James Brooks, and that left Holman wide open.
Well, the great play-action fake allowed Rodney Holman to take his time to lay, coming across the middle. Let's watch it. We've talked about Boomer Esiason and his great ability to fake the football. We'll take another look at it here. Again, James Brooks, his eyes follow the ball carrier there. We fool our camera a little bit, and here comes Boomer Esiason. Gets the ball away before pressure. Rodney Holman wide open. And again, very good speed, good power as he breaks the tackle by Michael Downs for the touchdown.
20-yard touchdown pass. Jim Breach to tack on the extra point. 14-3 Cincinnati. So we pointed out about how young Sweeney sometimes doesn't make the good fake. Well, he's learning from the master today. What a job by Esiason.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Braun Electric Shavers. It is through superior design that superior performance can be achieved. And by Denorex Shampoo. Help stop dandruff itch with an extra relief medicine. Denorex.
$14-3 Bengals over the Cowboys. Jim Donovan and Ken Anderson from Texas Stadium. Second quarter. Lee Johnson ready to kick it away. Darryl Clack and Cornell Burbage back deep. Clack at the top, Burbage at the bottom, and Johnson to the football. Well, Burbage kind of jitterbugged around that one, didn't he? But he finally caught it. Turns it into a pretty good run back out near the 30-yard line. Dallas has been good returning kickoffs, and Sweeney back out to the field, and he's moved them to a couple of first downs along drives, but then that crucial play, he can't seem to pull the trigger, and the Bengals just did pull the trigger. 14 plays, 79 yards. They're on the field for 6.5 minutes, and of course you saw the Esiason to Holman pass. Well, 6.5 minutes, though, that's very key for them.
Right. You know, that's the difference in the ball game. The Bengals sustaining their drives, Dallas hasn't so far.
And I don't think you'll find Cincinnati sitting on any lead today after what happened at Arrowhead Stadium last week when they led by 9 with 6 minutes to go and lost by 3. Good run by Herschel Walker as he had a hole out near the 40-yard line and close to a first down, and the secondary ends up having to make the tackle on him. Solomon Wilcox brings him down. As we watch it again, Joe Kelly, the inside linebacker, he's there. He just can't bring him down. He gets a shot on him. But again, the Dallas Cowboys have been running the football fairly effectively this afternoon. And Emmanuel King in the lineup now for the Bengals. He also missed on that man right there. Of course, a lot of people miss on him. 2nd down and 1. Sweeney sneaks through, and that's a smart play. Young man get down after he got the first down out over the 45-yard line. Let's go around the league right now. The Jets are on the board, 3-0. Still, Houston and Cleveland both winning. So the Bengals, if they sneak a peek up to the scoreboard, they'll be interested in those scores as they lead over Houston by 1, over Cleveland by 2. And we go through Detroit 6-0 over Green Bay, and Kansas City leading Seattle. In the AFC West, you win at home. Nobody seems to win on the road. Cincinnati trying to win on the road here today out of the AFC Central, leading Dallas 14-3. 1st and 10 Cowboys. Boy, look at Herschel fight for that extra yard out to the 50-yard line. Herschel Walker. We pause briefly right now for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Your #1 sports station in Cincinnati, WLWT.
Jim Donovan, Ken Anderson at Texas Stadium, where the Cincinnati Bengals lead over the Dallas Cowboys 14-3 here in the second quarter with 6:35 remaining in the first half.
It's kind of been the history of Dallas this year, a very tough time getting points on the scoreboard, and again, they haven't been able to threaten the end zone this afternoon.
4 yards on first down for Herschel Walker. Makes it 2nd and 6. Sweeney rolling out. And it is caught. Todd Fowler, the fullback, comes out and makes the catch. Leon White was chasing all the way. He was chasing Sweeney. Kelly ended up on the tackle of Fowler.
Joe Kelly, great speed for an inside linebacker. He's the #1 draft choice for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's got Fowler all the way. But nice job by Sweeney putting it low away along the sidelines where it's a very safe pass, and it takes you out of a bad situation. Now it leaves you down 3rd and about 3.
How do you feel Kelly's been playing this year?
He started off very well, kind of tapered off lately.
3rd down and 3 now after that scramble and throw by Sweeney, as he had Leon White on his back all the while and then had the concentration to slip it in there to Fowler. I don't think the play got off in time. Boy, there is a young quarterback mistake.
Boy, and those are the kind that'll kill you when you've got 3rd down and short yardage to go and you lose track of the 30-second clock or the 45-second clock. Delay of game, and now you're back 3rd and 8 where you don't want to be.
So last week when they had 15 penalties, a lot of them were of that kind of a variety. People jumping offside, and boy, he was saying yesterday, Tom Landry, that they really weren't, big penalties, pass interference or things like that, but those little tickle penalties like this one that you just saw there. So now that's a big difference. 3rd down and 8. 4 wide receivers in for the Cowboys. A blitz up the middle, and Sweeney in trouble. And he unloads this one, but they say that he was in the grasp of Leo Barker. Ray Horton came shooting up the middle, They blocked on him, but that allowed Barker to come from the outside.
And Leo Barker, the linebacker that stays in the nickel situation, as the Bengals choose to blitz Kevin Swinney on third down. You see Ray Horton picked up very well, but Leo Barker coming around on the stunt has enough speed there. It's in the grasp and control. It's a big sack for the Bengals.
And once again, they were up at the 50-yard line on 3rd and 3, and now Saxon has to punt it away. Standing back at his 20, in sunshine, Hillary makes the catch. Ooh, and took a lick at the 29-yard line. Garth Jacks, a linebacker, 53, came down there, and he's celebrating a big stick. We'll be right back. We know that's Sam White. Who's the young man there with the towel wrapped around just off behind Sam White, right behind the first down marker?
That's Matt Anderson, my 13-year-old son, who's working down on the sidelines this afternoon.
Kind of helping out Coach White?
Working the cords, keeping him untangled.
Keeping him away from headphone cord tangle. That dreaded affliction of NFL coaches. 1st and 10. Cincinnati. Ickey Woods. And he takes Ed Too Tall Jones for a ride. Out over the 35-yard line. Ickey Woods, full head of steam. Let's go around the scoreboard now. Check in again. Well, Pittsburgh's on the board with a touchdown in Cleveland, 17-7. Steelers have lost 6 in a row in Cleveland through the years. Chicago's added another touchdown, 21-3. Minnesota leading over the Colts. Colts have won 5 in a row coming into that one. Kansas City big over Seattle, 14-0. Detroit 6-0 over Green Bay. 14-3 here at Texas Stadium. Bengals with the ball and the lead, 2nd and 4. And again, Ickey Woods plowing through and is up close to a first down near the 40-yard line.
Again, we're going to see here, Dallas is now out of their 4-man line. They're playing a 34 defense, and here's Noonan now playing the nose man. Does a good job of stringing it out, but I think the Bengals doing such an effective job running the football against the Cowboys, moving it consistently. They're trying to make a change on defense and get something going, getting more people pursuing the football.
Danny Noonan out of Nebraska, very happy after Nebraska's win at Oklahoma yesterday.
And
chest shot.
And he woke up early Tuesday morning with a sore heel. He's kind of been battling all week. Talked to him before the game. He said it's tender, but he can play through it.
So they are just a couple of inches shy of the first down. It will be 3rd down and less than 1. Incidentally, on that last play, Anthony Munoz seemed to get banged up a little bit and was holding on to either his hand or his knee. But he is still in that huddle. There's Munoz right there. He's flexing. I believe it was his left hand.
So those offensive linemen are so involved in their hands using it in blocking. It's very easy to get a wrist, the elbows nicked up a little bit.
3rd down and 1. 5 minutes to go, first half. Esiason's been playing very well today against this Dallas defense. 3 plays in a row and a fumble. And the Dallas defense, which has not been able to come up with any turnovers, gets this one. Cobb up with the football. Ickey Woods had the first down, had the yardage, and then the ball just came flying out.
Well, again, a young rookie mistake. You get the ball, you just have to hold on to it. Good surge by the Bengals offensive line. Bruce Reimers gets a pancake, and Ickey Woods just loses the handle on the football as he's going down.
Oh, Ickey. 14-3 Bengals, but the Cowboys have some life after the turnover.
And there you see Ickey Woods on the sideline after fumbling the football. The Bengals offensive line dominating, but it's no good when you fumble the football.
Dallas gets a big break. Let's see if they cash it in. Sweeney play action fake. Jason Buck coming from the outside. Loops the ball down the field. Incomplete, intending it for Michael Irvin. Let's watch the Ickey Woods fumble again, and you'll see that he's got a lot of room to run. He's got the first down.
And there's Eugene Lockhart in there as he gets a hit with the shoulder, and the ball pops out. You've got to go in there, cover the ball up in those short yardage situations with 2 hands.
Penalty coming up here on Dallas.
Number 46 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Penalty on Todd Fowler. Cost them 10 yards. Penalties hurting the Cowboys now back to their own 45-yard line. They were starting at the Cincinnati 45.
Oh, they finally get the turnover from their defense, and now you have a holding penalty on first down to put you in 1st and 20.
into the I formation are the Cowboys. Here comes Herschel Walker. Pushing inside Cincinnati territory to the 48-yard line. He got stood up straight at the 50-yard line and then pushed for a couple of extra yards. Joe Kelly ends up tackling.
Watch it here, the little quick pitch to Herschel Walker going to his left. We've talked about Tim Crumry in there all day long. He's fighting off the double team, but Herschel Walker reads it, cuts back over the middle of the ball. Again, good yardage. You know, when it's 1st and 20, you don't think about running the football. With a guy like Herschel Walker, they can get you 8 yards. It's a very effective play.
Center Bob White ended up pushing Tim Crumry right over after Crumry had overrun the play. Walker got 7, making 2nd down at 13, and he goes out wide now to the top of your screen, leaving Fowler the lone back in the backfield. Boom! Ray Alexander was the intended receiver at the 25-yard line, and he was looking for the ball. And I'm wondering, you know, he started out in shadow. He turned around in sunshine, or maybe it was just an overthrow.
I think it was just a poor throw, but Doug Cosby came off the line of scrimmage, the tight end, clean over the middle. When it's 2nd down and 12, 13 yards, you don't need to get it all in one play. If you can get 8 of it, push you back in that 3rd and medium again.
Now, do you think he's just looking, Sweeney, I mean, at one receiver, knows that play, looking at the one guy?
I think that's probably a pretty good indication. All young quarterbacks do it.
3rd down and 13. They're at the Cincinnati 48-yard line. Kelvin Martin is in motion. Uh-oh, look out, Horton, got him. Ray Horton, blindside, the worst kind, back at the 40-yard line, untouched.
That's the 3rd time the Bengals have come with the blitz in a nickel situation, and until Dallas does something to pick it up or make the big play, the Bengals will continue to do it.
Dallas quickly up to the line of scrimmage, ready to punt. They're giving Cincinnati a dose of their own medicine right now, as the Bengals were late getting their punt return team on the field. Ira Hillary with the fair catch out at the 17-yard line. The sack by Ray Horton ends that drive as you look at Cincinnati leading over Dallas with 3:37 left to go. 2nd quarter. Boomer Esiason and Sam White evaluating what they have left and where they're starting. Coming up at halftime, Bob Ahmad, Gale, and Frank with all the highlights and scores from around the league on NFL Live, as we'll be going back to New York. 3:37 remaining here in the first half. Jim Donovan and Ken Anderson from Texas Stadium. A 51-yard touchdown run by James Brooks and a touchdown pass from Boomer Esiason to Rodney Holman, making up the Cincinnati scoring. Ruzek kicked a 44-yard field goal for the Cowboys. And on 1st down, James Brooks with a big hole out to the 28-yard line. Tackled by Gary Cobb, who recovered a fumble on the last series, and Bill Bates.
As James Brooks once again gets a chance to go through the line of scrimmage clean. And any good running back, you give him that amount of time with another move, he's going to make nice yardage for you. As we look at it from the ground level, but watch the play of the Bengals offensive line. Everybody getting into their blocks, and there's the seam for James Brooks. He goes through the line of scrimmage basically untouched. Bates tries to get an arm around him to bring him down, slows him down, but he goes through the line of scrimmage with a head of steam.
Measurement after the Brooks run. 1st down, Cincinnati. Jets still lead over Buffalo 3-0. Phoenix is on the board. Houston leading 17-7 at the Astrodome. And Cleveland ahead 17-7. Chicago 21-3 over Tampa Bay, and the Vikings with 2 field goals lead over Indianapolis 6-0. Kansas City big over Seattle 14-0, and the Lions with interim head coach Wayne Fonts in his first game today, leading 6-0. 1st and 10 Bengals, 3:05 left to go in the first half. The fake by Esiason. And Rodney Holman again is wide open, makes the catch out near the 40-yard line and gives Cincinnati another 1st down. That's kind of the play they scored on.
Very similar, but again set up with a play-action pass by Boomer Esiason. And Rodney Holman finally getting some man-to-man coverage, gets a chance to work against a strong safety, and that's his 2nd catch of the afternoon.
Now, would you say Esiason is a good quarterback down near the end of a half, near the end of a game as we come up to that 2-minute drill?
The Bengals have done a very good job in their 2-minute offense this year. Boomer Esiason does an excellent job of directing them.
Oh, again, another wide open receiver. This time it's Collinsworth. They're going to give him forward progress after the catch up at the Dallas 46.5-yard line, and a first down, and it's been easy pickings right now for Esiason.
Right, and Chris Collinsworth, after going to the Pro Bowl his first 3 years in the league, has kind of been relegated to part-time duty with the Bengals this year. I think that's only his 8th catch on the season this year.
They're not going to get this play off before the 2-minute warning, and there it is right now. 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. Cincinnati leading and looking as though they're going to add to that lead, too. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Bengals lead 14-3.
Bengals offense has done a good job mixing the run and the pass. If you look at the statistics, 13 passes, 15 runs. Boomer Esiason, 8 for 13, 108 yards on the afternoon.
Guy with the Bengals jacket on there was Jim Breach. He could become a factor near the end of the first half. Everybody's got all the timeouts left in the bank.
And certainly with 2 minutes to go, less than 50 yards, more than enough time.
Of course, when I speak of Breach, the way the Bengals are moving right now, they're not thinking Breach, they're thinking 6.
Well, the Bengals have only attempted 9 field goals on the year, but they've scored more touchdowns than anybody else in football. That's why Jimmy Breach has not been on the field much.
It's 1st and 10. You know, I think what they had second down up on the sticks before the 2-minute warning, but that pass play just before the 2-minute warning was a first down yardage to Collinsworth. So now they have it straightened out. It's 1st and 10 at the 47 of Dallas. Brooks in motion. Wide open again. It's Collinsworth down at the 26-yard line. Everson Walls was on the coverage, and Boomer runs him right back up to the line of scrimmage. 1:45 and the clock running.
All of a sudden, when you talk about Chris Collinsworth not being a part of the offense, they come to him 2 plays in a row.
And on the last 3 pass plays, Esiason has had receivers wide open. That was another good run fake to Stanley Wilson that time. 32, and Wilson's in the backfield, and that's him going in motion. They run. Brooks. Loose ball, but the whistle had blown. They had said that Brooks and the play had ended. 1:19 remaining. And Cincinnati calls a timeout. They'll call a 40-second timeout, and they'll check it out very quickly. Tim McGee is 85. Haven't seen much of him today. We've seen a lot of him, though. Boomer Esiason to the sideline.
Boomer has really emerged as one of the fine quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's made the big plays for him this year. I think he does a good job directing the running game. Of course, the Bengals have been running the football effectively, but really has become a leader out on the field.
And again, coming up at halftime, NFL Live back in New York. Ready to update you on what's going on around the league on Sunday, number 12. Timeouts remaining. Bengals just used their first one of the half, so they have 2 left. Dallas trying to plug up the holes defensively. Ernie Stopner there, the silver-haired coach, shaking his head.
Well, they need to shut the Bengals off here, not let them get into the end zone and try to make some adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, because I would think 21-3 is a long road to come back when you're going with a young quarterback like Sweeney. Maybe we will see Pallur in the second half. Right now, we're watching Boomer Esiason just dissect this Dallas defense. Jennings in motion. He gets away from the blitz and then throws it away. Blowing through was Michael Downs. Esiason then just dodged a couple of steps to the right to get away from the oncoming Downs.
It's a good quickness by Boomer Esiason. See it just backpedaling away, allowing him to throw the football away, and that's what all coaches tell the quarterbacks. When you're in scoring territory, you can't take the big sack to knock you out of field goal range. So if nothing else, Boomer Esiason did a good job there throwing the football away.
White signals to Esiason, and he delivers it to the rest of the offense, and they're looking at 3rd down and 8 now. And we have a timeout called defensively by Dallas to make sure they have the right personnel on the field. Ernie Stopner with the headphones on right now, talking with his defensive unit. Downs was the player that blitzed in there, and he almost ended up with the big sack of Esiason.
And when you think about the Dallas Cowboys defense, you think of a blitzing, aggressive type defense, which certainly that time the blitz was very effective in forcing Boomer Esiason to throw the football away. And this is what Boomer Esiason sees as he drops back to pass. Good quickness right there. Swings the ball up a little dangerous right there with the man in your face, but he gets rid of the football.
They were also coming with Bill Bates, so they sent a lot of people. Downs and Bates. Bates came in late and jumped up in front of the pass.
Well, when you're having trouble stopping an offense, there's nothing left to do but to try to blitz and slow them down.
Now it's 3rd down and 8. Both teams with 2 timeouts left here in the first half. 1:14 remaining. Bengals lead 14-3. They're inside the 25-yard line. Eddie Brown in motion. Incomplete, intended for Eddie Brown at the 5-yard line. There was an outside rush coming from Ed Too Tall Jones as the Cowboys scissored in on Boomer. Sent a lot of people, and Jones was coming from the outside. Boomer wouldn't have seen him.
Well, again, I think that was the idea of that play, to move Boomer Esiason out of the pocket in that obvious passing situation to avoid some of that pressure.
Well, as you said, Jim Breach has only attempted 9 field goals this year. His longest of the season is 34 yards. This one will be a 41-yard attempt. Well, he hasn't had to kick many field goals. I guess that's the bright spot of that number.
As you said, the Bengals have scored a lot of touchdowns.
Got a lot on it, and it's right down the middle, and it's good. Jim Breach with his longest field goal of the season. 41 yards, and Cincinnati works the clock pretty nicely there. 17-3 to add to their lead. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, the Dallas Cowboys, and Cincinnati Bengals, all rights reserved. 1:05 remaining.
You know, you look at this first half, Boomer Esiason and say, well, I tried to do what you told me, Coach, but there was just nobody open. Jim McNally, that's on the left, the Bengals offensive line coach, explaining to Sam the theory of moving Boomer Esiason out of the pocket so he doesn't get hit. You know, Jim McNally, a very happy guy because the Bengals can run the football effectively this year. You talk to any offensive football coach or offensive line coach around the league, they love to run the football.
Ken, how do they all work together right now? You've heard so much through the years about Esiason and White having their problems at times. How are they clicking?
Very well, obviously. They're having a great year. The Bengals 8-3. Boomer having personally his best year of the season. I think they're thinking along the same lines this year. And, of course, Boomer's just done a superb job of directing the Cincinnati Bengals offense.
And how do you feel they're clicking?
They're always in sync. You know, you look at this football game here, you know, the Bengals on the verge of taking total control of it. Dallas can't afford one of the turnovers they've had in the past and give the Bengals a cheap score before halftime ends.
Lee Johnson has it ready to kick away to Burbage and Clack. Clack is 42, Burbage 82. And it will be Burbage right on the goal line. Oh, way up on a pack. Out to the 21, the 22-yard line. Second quarter has not been a good quarter. 95-23 in the second quarter of this year. Wow.
Boy, you know, Dallas has had trouble scoring points all year long.
And it's been 10-0, I believe, in this second quarter so far today with a minute to go in the half. Yeah, there it is. 10-0 now. Bengals in this second quarter. 17-3 the numbers in the total column. 1 minute to go. First and 10. The football out over the 20-yard line. And Mr. Sweeney has 2 timeouts left. 3 wide receivers in. Almost intercepted by Ricky Dixon, the #1 draft choice of the Bengals out of Oklahoma. Boy, he was right there, and darn it, he says, because if he caught it, might have gone all the way.
You know, the Bengals figured they needed help in the defensive secondary, so they picked Ickey Woods. Had trouble signing. That left the door open for Eric Thomas, who's played very well. But here we'll take a look at Ricky Dixon. And he can't quite hold on to it. Alexander had the step on him originally. The ball was just a little late being delivered.
Second down and 10, Ricky Dixon. Sweeney trying to force it in there. And it almost cost him dearly. There's a penalty. And Ray Horton picks it off at the 41-yard line. The penalty, I think, would have been a hold against Dallas. So the Bengals will turn that down and get the ball back with 48 seconds left. And Ray Horton's having himself an afternoon, and Kevin Sweeney is not. I think Horton's looking up to see if they're going to show it on replay.
You know, but you're in a position here. You're backed up before the half. You just don't want to make the big mistake, but you've got a young quarterback in the football game. There was the hold at the bottom of your screen. That was Daryl Smith holding Jason Bucks. The ball is overthrown. Ray Horton's there. Now the Bengals have a chance for another score.
Nice job by Horton to get down on the turf, make the catch right in his belly, pulls it down at the 41-yard line. 48 seconds remaining. Cincinnati with 2 timeouts left.
That was Horton's second interception of the year.
And he's been in the backfield a number of times today in blitzing situations. 17-3 Cincinnati, and they can add to it. Esiason almost fell, and this one was almost picked off by Robert Williams. Robert Williams almost had the pickoff. There he is. Esiason lucky to get that one back. Here's the interception, and watch Sweeney getting pressured here.
Again, down at the bottom of your screen, Jason Buck, the defensive end. There's the hold by Daryl Smith, but again, good pressure coming in. Throws the ball just, you know, it's just a bad throw by Sweeney as he overthrew it.
41-yard line, the line of scrimmage. The incompleted pass stopped the clock. 42 seconds remaining. Robert Williams was covering on Tim McGee. They haven't thrown to McGee much here today. They've been going mostly to Brown and Holman. They run it, and Brooks has a big hole. Look at him go. Steps out of bounds at the 11-yard line and stopped the clock with 35 seconds left. And James Brooks has been doing that all afternoon.
He's been having a big day, but it all starts up front with the offensive line as they're giving him a chance to break through the line of scrimmage clean. Here we see the replay. Starts off left tackle. There's nobody there. The hole's a mile wide. Anybody can run through that hole. Not everybody can do what James Brooks does now, though, turn the ball to the outside with that speed.
25-yard carry. And the scoreboard, Houston 24-7 now over Phoenix. Cleveland 17-7 over Pittsburgh. All the scores and highlights coming up at halftime when we go to NFL Live in New York. Bengals going towards that Cowboy end zone. And again, it's Brooks. And he carries inside the 10-yard line. And the Bengals might have used a timeout. They did. They have one left. With 28 seconds left as we flick through the remaining scores. Chicago way in front. Brooks is injured down on the turf, and we'll be back to Texas Stadium. It is 17-3 Bengals. James Brooks was down, and he was down for some time. Then he got up and walked off. As you see, he's okay, or it appears to be okay. Boy, he's okay stat-wise. Look at that, 129 yards in the first half.
Well, they can't afford to lose a player like that. He has been so valuable to them all season long. As we said earlier, 5.3 yards per carry, which is tops in the National Football League.
Second down and 2 at the 8-yard line of Dallas. Stanley Wilson in the backfield. Esiason rolling out. Fires. Incomplete. They say he was out. And it was Eddie Brown trying to get the feet down and hang on to the ball right on the corner of that end zone.
But a good job getting to the sideline, throwing it low and away, trying to let Eddie Brown. I know, talking with Sam White, he worked on that with Joe Montana when he was with the 49ers. I used to do those things, those type of drills. But now Boomer Esiason gets right to the sideline, throws it low and away, and Eddie Brown, there's 1 foot. Looks like the knee was down out of bounds.
Yeah, I think the right knee was on that white paint before that other foot came down. Third down and 2. Jennings, or rather Wilson, to the 5. Stanley Wilson down to the 5-yard line, and they'll have the first down with 15 seconds to go in the half, and they have used their last time out.
We'll take one more look at Eddie Brown along the sidelines. He does. There's the knee is out of bounds as he catches the ball. Good call by the officials.
Eddie Brown talking it over with Tim McGee. We had that number up that he had the 8 touchdowns this season so far, and of course there's still some time left. Last year that was a big problem. They couldn't get any big plays to Eddie Brown.
No, the Bengals had the problem last year of scoring touchdowns in general, almost a reverse. The Cowboys this year struggling. The Bengals putting a lot of points on the board. Tom Landry, his hands on his hips, saying, how are we going to slow these Cincinnati Bengals down? Boomer Esiason's in a situation now, 15 seconds to go. There's no timeouts, that you're going to probably have to throw the football here. And you throw it for the end zone, you take your shot, but you make sure that the clock gets stopped. You don't want to walk off the field without your field goal team at least getting a shot to kick.
What Esiason doesn't want to have happen is what happened to him a couple of weeks ago at home in this situation against Pittsburgh when he jammed one into the end zone and Hardy Nickerson of the Steelers picked it off. He tried to force one in there. Let's see what he does here. Bill Bates coming on a blitz. Well, he doesn't force that one in. Touchdown as he finds Holman.
Boomer Esiason doing a good job of reading the blitz. The Cowboys coming with everybody trying to make the stop. And Rodney Holman going to come right at you here. Just runs out into the flat. Boomer Esiason throws a strike. And Ron Burton cannot stop him from the end zone.
Holman was a forgotten man in the Bengal offense, but they found number 82 today.
But all of a sudden, again, another mistake by the Cowboys. The interception by Kevin Sweeney that allowed him to get into the position to score the touchdown before half.
So Esiason was frustrated the last time here inside 2 minutes when they had to settle for the Breach field goal. Got the ball back, put it in, and Breach puts it through with the extra point. And the Bengals are way out in front right now. 24-3. Indeed, today they look like a team on a mission to win on the road. They've been disappointing so far this year on the road, losing 3 of 5. But today they're way out in front.
And again, we'll see good protection for Boomer Esiason. He gets rid of the ball quickly out in the flat to Rodney Holman, who just outruns Ron Burton to the end zone.
Holman today has 4 catches for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's go now and check in on the other scores. Houston, 24-7 now over Phoenix. And in the third quarter, Cleveland leading 17-7 over Pittsburgh. So the Steelers hanging in a bit. That's always a tough game. Chicago, 21-6 over Tampa Bay, and Minnesota leading. Seattle's on the board with a touchdown at Kansas City, 14-7. Seattle started the day tied with Denver and the Raiders for first in the AFC West, all at 6-5. And Detroit leading over Green Bay in a field goal kickers battle. Eddie Murray's been the guy in that one. Cincinnati 24-3 at Texas Stadium. We'll be going back to New York right at halftime. We're only 11 seconds away here from the end of the first half. All the scores and highlights coming up at halftime. Darryl Clack will take it for the Cowboys at the 10. Out over the 20, out over the 25 to the 26-yard line, and there are 6 seconds remaining.
And that was Lee Johnson kicking off for the Bengals. The Bengals, very unusual, they keep 3 kickers. Hunter Scott Fulhag, place kicker Jim Breach, and then when they want to kick off, they put Lee Johnson in. He one of the long kickoff men in the league.
Sweeney into the huddle right now. 6 seconds left here in the first half. Will he play in the second half?
I think Tom Landry's probably got a pretty good idea of what he wants to do, but do not be surprised to see Steve Pallor come in and try to generate a spark for the Dallas offense in the second half.
2 wide receivers in, and they run the ball. That's Fowler, the fullback, out over the 30 to the 31. And the Bengals and Cowboys head to the dressing room. The Bengals in a much better mood than Tom Landry's Cowboys. 24-3, the score at the half, as the Bengals came out here ready to play today. Boy, were they ready. And Boomer Esiason has thrown 2 touchdown passes to Rodney Holman. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
We welcome those of you watching the game in Dallas, where the Bengals are pretty much having their own way against the Cowboys. Bob Costas with Gail Gardner and Ahmad Rashad. And as we run down the other scores, let's start with the game in Buffalo, where the Jets, in a certain sense, are beating the Bills at their own game. Defense. On a Pat Leahy field goal, they lead 3-0.
Well, Bob, the Jets went into this game knowing that Buffalo was going to clinch the division here. And they said, we're not going to let it happen. That's their rallying cry. And they played them tough the first half. Pat Ryan's playing extremely well. But the question is, can they keep this level of play up throughout the second half? I don't think so. I think that the Bills are going to come on strong, and I think that they'll end up winning this game.
Well, there's little doubt that Cincinnati is on their way to a win at Dallas, and it would be the 8th consecutive defeat for the Cowboys, who split their first 4, but now come in at 2-9. The Bengals lead here 24-3. And it's a fact. We don't mean to be harsh, but it's very possible, considering the difficulty of the remaining schedule for Tom Landry's team, that they might not win again in 1988. What a year James Brooks is having for the Bengals. He's averaging around 5.5 yards per carry, and that average is boosted by this 51-yard scamper in the first quarter for the lead at 7-0. Now in the second, off the play-action fake, here's Esiason to Rodney Holman for the touchdown. Gave them the lead at that point of 14-3. Jim Breach kicked a field goal, and then just before halftime, as you saw, Esiason hit Holman again. 24-3 in favor of the Bengals. Houston has gone to halftime at the Astrodome with a 24-7 lead over Phoenix. It's been a big first half for Warren Moon, well over 200 yards passing, and he got the last touchdown on a 1-yard run of his own. The Cardinals are without Neil Lomax. He's hurt. Cliff Stout, the former USFL player and former Pittsburgh Steeler, is filling in. He did not have a good first half, although he did have one bright moment, a 52-yard touchdown pass to Robert Awald. Elsewhere, Cleveland playing at home in a downpour, leading Pittsburgh 24-7. Now, all season long, Chuck Noll's team has had a mysterious difficulty with the punting game. It was magnified today by the weather conditions. Here's the snap, sailing over the head of Harry Newsome. Everybody's got a shot at it here in the second quarter action, and eventually the Thrill Hill of the Browns comes up with it. Bernie Kosar flips a short touchdown pass a few moments later, and it's 10-0. Still in the second quarter. Here comes Stephen Bragg. He pays for it with a shot in the midsection, but that's what he's got to do on special teams. He blocks the Newsome punt. It bounces right into the arms of Frank Minifield. 11-yard touchdown, and a lead of 17-0 at that point. Now, early in the third quarter, here's the pass from Kosar to Reggie Langhorne. Watch this. Steelers bouncing off him as if they were rock'em sock'em robots, and Langhorne scampers 77 yards for the touchdown. 24-7 at this point. Cleveland in front. The Bears are playing at Tampa Bay. They go to the third quarter. The Bears lead 21-6. Tom Zach has thrown a 40-yard scoring pass to Brad Muster. Neil Anderson has scoring runs of 1 and 14 yards. Vinny Testaverde was intercepted on the Buccaneers' first possession. It's the 27th time he's been picked off this year. That's the highest figure in the league. The Vikings at home now have added to their lead over the Colts. They just got a third Chuck Nelson field goal, and they lead in this one 9-0. Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. A week ago, they beat Cincinnati there, came from behind to upset the Bengals. In this one, they're in front of the 6-5 Seahawks, 14-7. Gail?
And a series that has been historically dominated by the home team. The Chiefs, with only 2 rushing touchdowns all year till today, they've doubled that output. As far as Dave Craig and the Seahawks go, he's having a good game, and over the years he's not played very well against Kansas City, but the Hawks not able to run today.
The Lions are looking to put a win on the board in the debut of Wayne Fontes as their interim head coach. Darryl Rogers, of course, was fired earlier this week. And on 3 Eddie Murray field goals, they lead the Packers in a game being played at County Stadium in Milwaukee. It's 9-0 early in the third quarter. Now stay with us. When we come back after this break, Frank DeFord will have his halftime commentary. That comes up following these messages from your local stations.
Total domination by the Cincinnati Bengals at the end of the first half. 24-3. They lead over the Dallas Cowboys. And I think Cincinnati knew they needed a big day with Houston and Cleveland, AFC Central Division rivals, playing at home in winnable games, and both are winning. So the Bengals knew they had to play well today.
And they are. You know, they came in talking with Sam Weiss before the game. He liked the look in his players' eyes before this football game. He felt they were ready to play. And the Dallas Cowboys have struggled offensively once again, and the Bengals seem to have answered what they're doing with the flex defense from the defensive line. The Bengals' offensive line has totally controlled the game.
Now, how rough is it to play quarterback in the NFL when you have a struggling offensive line? Watch Kevin Sweeney. Ken, you take it.
So you want to play quarterback in the National Football League. Now, these aren't sacks. These are just getting hit as you're knocked down, and you're a young quarterback. You're struggling. There you fall over the pile late, and here comes the safety, the blitzes. You throw the ball away, and it's just, there's the safety blitz. Oh. Very tough to get anything going when you get a lot of pressure like that.
And your helmet always comes up a little bit high because your face mask has been rearranged. And Sweeney took that kind of treatment last Sunday against the Vikings, and it has persisted here this afternoon in the first half. So there he is. The young man is still in one piece, but you wonder if he'll be out there running the show offensively for the Cowboys here in the second half. He's got the ball ready to warm up.
Or will it be Steve Fuller? We'll have to wait and see that in just a couple of moments. But again, not impressive stats. 4 out of 13, 32 yards. An interception, so a tough day for Kevin Sweeney. But what's the old adage? You can't throw from the seat of your pants.
Yeah, that makes sense. James Brooks hasn't been on the seat of his pants all that much. 129 yards rushing in the first half. just a tremendous running game by the Bengals, but it starts with the offensive line.
Well, James Brooks has had gaping holes to run through them with his natural ability. He makes it into the big plays, but when you're averaging over 12 yards per carry, pretty effective day for James Brooks.
He went down injured right near the end of the first half, but walked off under his own power and looks to be okay. And the Bengals certainly took a lot of deep breaths after he got up and walked off all right, because he is such a key part to their offense. 10 rushes, 129 yards, and really hasn't taken many licks today. That's how cleanly he has been able to get through that front wall.
Some of the holes have just been gaping, and we've mentioned it earlier, but the Bengals offensive line, a veteran offensive line, 38 years of experience in the National Football League. Between them, they work very well together. When you talk about an offensive line, they're certainly playing very well, but again, the total domination by the Bengals, 15 first downs to 6. Look at 309 total yards of offense to only 80. If you remember back to 1985 when these two teams last met, the Bengals 570 yards of offense in that game, which is a record that the Dallas Cowboys defense would rather forget about, but that's the most in club history.
Now, I'm not trying to put words in Sam Weich's mouth in the locker room at halftime, but I would have to guess that he maybe didn't even have to say anything, but go in there and say, now don't let up. Don't have what happened last week in Kansas City happen here this afternoon. We're in very good shape.
Well, I think the very first series, a key for the Bengals to come out. Don't close up. Don't get conservative on offense. Now you've been successful with the things you're doing. Let's keep the same game plan here. Don't start thinking about the clock too early. And above all, don't turn the football over and let Dallas get back into the game.
This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Roger Ruzek getting it ready to start the second half. The Cowboys need the ball. They don't need this situation where they have to give the ball right over to a red-hot Cincinnati offense to start the second half, but that's the situation as we get set to go. 24-3, Bengals over the Cowboys. Cincinnati looking to go 9-3. Here comes Stanford Jennings. There's a flag thrown as he comes out near the 30-yard line. Tackle made by Robert Williams, but again, we'll check out the yellow flag down at about the 31-yard line.
Is it just my imagination? Of course, there's a flag on this play, but I don't think there's been as many flags this year in the kicking game as maybe there has been in the past.
Well, I'll tell you, I've seen a couple of bad teams this year, and there have been plenty of flags there.
51 receiving during the return.
All right, the penalty is on Leon White. The mic wasn't working on our referee until he said 51, and Leon says, oh, it has to click in just when they mentioned my number, but it did. And so now that marches them back inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. And here come the Bengals. James Brooks goes out wide as a wide receiver. He's at the top of your screen, the farthest player out. Chris Collinsworth is inside him. Now Brooks comes in motion. Ickey Woods on first down, and the Cowboys shut that down. Danny Noonan is there for the Cowboys.
A big series for the Cowboys defense. They need to show that they can shut the Bengals offense down a little bit and give their offense a chance to get back on the field and not let them totally control the football.
Injury update for the Cowboys. Nate Newton went out early with a right ankle sprain. X-rays were negative, but he won't be back in today. Second down and 9, 1 yard for Ickey Woods. Boomer looks it over. Rollout with a blocker there. Oh, Rodney Holman, a rare sight today. That's a drop ball down at the 25-yard line. That hit him right in the hands.
Went right through his hands. Is once again Boomer Esiason rolling out and making the good throw.
Here are the scores now on Sunday, number 12. Holman back into the huddle. Buffalo has tied it 3-3. Phoenix getting a little bit closer to Houston now as they add another touchdown. Cleveland's blocked another punt that led to a Reggie Langhorne touchdown after the Browns got the ball back, so they are cruising in Cleveland, looking to end a two-game slide. Chicago's winning, as are the Vikings. Seattle has come back to tie up Kansas City after they fell behind 14-0, and Detroit leads 9-3. Third down and 9. Boomer with a lot of time. A flag goes down as Collinsworth catches out at the 42-yard line. But the flag went down after Eddie Brown got knocked down at the 35. Boomer saying it's against the Cowboys, and I believe it might be.
Everybody's pointing that direction.
27 yards.
Well, if we can read lips, I thought his mouth said number 40, Bill Bates, on the interference. But again, the big pass completion by the Bengals offense, taking him out of a hole when the Cowboys defense had a chance to give good field position for their offense.
Bill Bates getting all readjusted.
You think they're not working hard on too tall. He goes from Max Montoya, ends up with them, keeps hammering away.
See, and that's the too tall specialty, still being able to get up and knock the ball down with that great height. A flag down again. Off to a sloppy start here in the second half. Brooks can't hang on, and Bates almost came in and got the ball down at the 46-yard line. A penalty, illegal motion on Cincinnati.
Well, again, the Bengals offense coming out sputtering a little bit, a couple of drop passes and a penalty.
Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Your #1 sports station in Cincinnati, WLWT.
Jim Donovan and Ken Anderson back at Texas Stadium. Cincinnati leading 24-3 as we have just started here in the third quarter. The Bengals having a big offensive first half, have the ball here in the second half. Just got marked off 5 yards on a illegal motion penalty, so it's 1st and 15 at the 37 of Cincinnati. McGee and Brown, the wide receivers. Brooks in motion. And Esiason to pass. Dumps it down the middle. That's incomplete at the 45-yard line. James Brooks couldn't hang on as Esiason threw that one right down near the ground, and Brooks could not hang on.
Let's watch Joe Walter, the Bengals' right tackle, against too tall as they kind of bang each other around. Joe Walter having a good year this year. He shut out guys like Reggie White with Philadelphia, Mark Gastineau when he was leading the league in sacks while he was playing, Howie Long of the Raiders. Joe Walter having a fine year, and he's having a big test today with Too Tall Jones, who's had some pressure.
14 seasons played, and there's Ed Too Tall Jones, and I think he'll play a 15th, too.
He's playing as well as ever this year.
Maybe a 16th and 17th. On second down and 15, James Brooks is out to the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Jim Jeffcoat. And Eugene Lockhart also getting off the pack. Ball out to the 41.
Sam Wyche's not relaxed at all on that sideline. He knows there's a lot of football left to play. But if you watch the Bengals offense, they kind of get to the line of scrimmage real quick. If they try to substitute, they get set it and snap the ball. If not, they go back into the huddle.
Mark Whalen has checked in at defensive tackle for Kevin Brooks on the Cowboys front four. It's 3rd down and 12. Almost a fine catch by Collinsworth, and very good coverage again by Robert Williams. And if you watch that matchup, Williams is battling a size advantage. Collinsworth is taller, and that's why Esiason threw it so high.
Well, Chris Collinsworth 6'5", Robert Williams only 5'10". But again, good pass protection here by the Bengals. Boomer has plenty of time to throw as he throws it out in Collinsworth's direction, but good coverage by Robert Williams.
But you see, that could have been a situation where Williams was there in pretty good position, but that height advantage could have gotten Collinsworth the ball. Kelvin Martin is back deep for Dallas. Low snap, Bullhag gets it away. Good punt. Martin on a lot of hang time on that one. Oh, he got outside. Now back inside. Kelvin Martin out of Boston College gives the Cowboy fans finally something to get a little excited about.
Today's game is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, phone your nearest BMW dealer. By Remington, your grooming expert. And by the good time, great taste of McDonald's.
Cowboys make a quarterback change as we expected, and we told you earlier in the game that Tom Landry said yesterday that he probably would go with Steve Pallor if Sweeney couldn't get it going.
And 80 yards of offense in the first half is not getting it going.
Yeah, Sweeney could not get it going. Kelvin Martin did on that punt return, though, for 21 yards. So we'll see if Steve Pallor can relieve the way Sweeney did a couple of weeks ago against the Giants when he relieved Pallor and threw 3 touchdown passes. Now Sweeney starts and Pallor relieves, and Walker runs on first down out over the 35.
Once again, we're going to focus in on Tim Crumry, the fine nose tackle. Again, he's engaged pretty well. but he slides to the proper side as he's in on the tackle once again. But a pretty good job blocking him by Bob White, the center.
3 yards on first down. Ray Alexander in at wide receiver. Michael Irvin, the rookie, is also in. Pelur rolling out. Good block on Crumry. They throw the pass over here to an offensive lineman who's just checked in. That's Kevin Gogan. There are 3 flags down.
Well, the crowd liked it, I'll say that.
That's the biggest roar of the afternoon.
Well, they were trying to set up the screen backside to Thornton Chandler, their tight end, and Gogan was there for the block. You see Pelur rolling out. Looking back, I don't know if he just doesn't see the tight end or there's nothing else but for Gogan to do but catch the football. At least he shows he's got good hands.
I was just going to say, he really hung in there, made a nice catch.
Tim Crumry drawing a lot of attention. The old rolling pocket by the Dallas Cowboys. They go to the outside and then throw the screen back to the left. And Crawford Kirk getting a cut on Tim Crumry. That's a nice little change of pace when you got a good defensive lineman. See if you can't go low.
3rd down and 7. Herschel Walker should have a first down as he flew through out over the 45-yard line to the 46. First down, Cowboys. Give it to them.
Again, you know, we're talking about Bob White here, the center for the Cowboys. And we're going to take another look at it. Good blocking by the line. And Herschel Walker blows right through the hole real quick as Crumry kind of hangs on at the end. But Bob White, a replacement center. Tim Rafter, their starting center, been bothered with a thigh, hasn't played in the last couple weeks.
Walker gives the Cowboys a first down, and the spot is out at the 46-yard line. 11:15 to go, 3rd quarter. Walker reads again and stays upright down near the Cincinnati 45-yard line as the Cowboys now show a little life with Pelur in there handing the ball off. Scores remaining constant right there, all in the 3rd quarter. Again, for the Bengals fans, both Cleveland and Houston winning. Chicago winning over Tampa Bay, and Minnesota in the 4th, 9-0. Seattle comes back to tie at Kansas City, and Green Bay on the board with a field goal. I count 4 field goals in that one. 2nd down, 2. Herschel. Boy, listen to the crowd every time Walker gets his hands on the ball, whether he gets nothing, and that's not too often, or just one. There's a flag down, and one of the Bengals players says it's holding against Dallas, and by golly, he's right.
Well, you know, penalties, you know, Dallas this year well over 700 yards, the 2nd most penalized team in the league, and it's tough to generate offense when you're constantly getting called for the penalties. And just at a point where the Dallas offensive line starting to show a little movement and they were running the football effectively.
Danny White right on the edge of your screen giving the signals there. Penalty was on Thornton Chandler, the tight end. He's called for the hold, and this will again march him back inside the 50, back into their own territory at the 48-yard line. Doubleheader day here on NBC. Coming up next on most of these stations. Stay tuned for the 2nd half. Most of you will see the Denver Broncos battle the New Orleans Saints in a crucial game for 2 playoff hopefuls. Plus regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area. 2nd down and 8. Pelur, Irvin. To the 21 of Cincinnati. Rookie Michael Irvin came back and made the catch.
Let's take another look at that play. The biggest offensive play of the afternoon for the Cowboys. And Steve Pelur makes it. But you want man-to-man coverage by Eric Thomas, the Bengals cornerback. As Michael Irvin, a little juke it off the line. Then it's just a foot race. Eric Thomas sees the ball late, and Michael Irvin comes back to catch the ball for that 32-yard gain.
Pelur delivering the ball. Watch Irvin with the sense to come back.
Eric Thomas got caught turning the wrong way looking for the football.
So now the Cowboys deep. Here comes Walker. Waiting for the block of Crawford Kerr, and then Phillips came up from the corner. He read the running play. There he is, Lewis Phillips, to make the stop on Herschel.
Did a nice job coming up, a little slow developing play, but Herschel had a lineman out in front of him, and Lewis Phillips makes the play. Little Herschel Walker coming around, little spin move there in the backfield. And there you see Crawford Kerr trying to get out, looking for Leon White, but there comes Lewis Phillips in unblocked to make the play.
Even if Kerr makes the block, there were a lot of orange and black there. Walker carries today 18. All other backs 1. Fowler is the other back that carried the ball. Second down, 10, nothing on that play. Here's Pelor back. Caught. Fowler out of the backfield, down near the 15-yard line. David Fulcher chases him out for Cincinnati. Actually, Fowler makes the catch, but I don't know if you'll see it on replay, but Michael Irvin was wide open across the middle.
Here we're going to get a great view of it from ground level. Fowler comes right at you. Good throw. Catch, first down, or third down coming up. This is the deepest penetration by the Cowboys offense this afternoon.
Third down and 4. Darrell Smith comes in now at left tackle, taking Wydell out, the rookie, along that offensive line as you look at Fowler, who made that last catch. 8:59 left third quarter. Cowboys trail 24-3. Walker, and a big hit put on him by Lewis Phillips. Eric Thomas was down low, but Phillips came in to polish him off.
Yeah, but a good job by Herschel Walker holding on to the football. I think surprisingly, he's got very good hands as a running back. You think of him as a rusher, but he's got good hands as a receiver. Going into the game, 42 catches. Here you see Steve Pelor dropping back, trying to pick up the first down, but the big hit by Eric Thomas and Lewis Phillips. But the Cowboys are going to go for it on fourth down.
Well, the crowd was yelling right away, go, go, go.
Nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, really, at 2 and 9, you've lost 7 in a row. It's 4th and 2. He's going to run for it.
The quarterback draw.
All right, a little bit of life in the Cowboy attack.
Well, you know, Steve Pelor coming in, generating some excitement here in the stadium. I think that carries over to the football team. A very dull first half for him. But you see, he comes back in here, 4th down and 2, 1 step back on the quarterback draw. He's just looking for a seam to try to pick up that 2 yards in the first down. Good call by the Dallas Cowboys.
Crumry was there and dove out to get Pelor. Couldn't get him. Reggie Williams finished him off down at the 10-yard line. A little beyond the 10 because they can get a first down. Oh, look at Herschel Walker fight and score!
Unbelievable run by Herschel Walker. It appears he was stopped at about the 6-yard line, and the team gets very excited about this. Herschel Walker's only second rushing touchdown of the year, 11 yards. Little noise in the stands now.
At first it looked as though he was stopped at the 8, then at the 5, then at the 2, and then there was no stopping him. Here it is.
Nothing fancy, off tackle, off the I formation. It appears to be stopped there. Then again at the 5-yard line. Look at the leg drive as he just carries people with him, and he still doesn't go down in the end zone.
There was a penalty. And again, we cannot hear the official's mic, so there's Herschel on the sideline, but he did point towards Dallas, but the touchdown does count, so maybe it's one of those that's going to be marked off on the kickoff.
And Herschel Walker having a good day, 19 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown.
Might have been for taunting after the touchdown.
They are re-emphasizing that now in the National Football League.
Ruzek waiting for the snap. Pelor holds. And Dallas climbs back into it. There he is, out of the eye.
Look at
Herschel Walker, out of the eye.
Look at the effort here as he just goes to the goal line. Appears to be stopped. 11 yards, touchdown Cowboys.
An 11-yard touchdown run by Herschel Walker with 50 yards of effort on it. It was something to see. A new quarterback, Steve Pelor, comes in for the Cowboys. He connects on a big 4th down and 2 play and then adds some juice.
Yeah, but finally the Cowboys sustain the drive and get it into the end zone. There's a little momentum on their football team. I think that's going to mean a lot to a young football team here in the second half.
Big series now for the Cowboy defense and likewise the Bengal offense to see if the momentum is really strong. There was a penalty marked off against the Cowboys, and it was for the extra celebration after the touchdown run by Walker. So now you see where they're kicking off from their own 20. Stanford Jennings at the 20. Out to the 30. Out to the 35-yard line. And he goes out of bounds, and so the Bengals have good field position. Let's clear up the penalty now. It was on Kevin Gogan for unnecessary roughness after the touchdown. And that is why Ruzek was kicking from his own 20, which is a big advantage now, because look at where Cincinnati begins. As Boomer has them huddled up, and they'll start over their own 35. First down. Bengals lead now at 24-10. 7:16 to go, third quarter. James Brooks in motion. And Esiason, down the middle in traffic, but he zips it right on the numbers to Rodney Holman, and Holman is out over the 45 to the 48-yard line. And Boomer saying, let's get right up there and attack, I think.
Well, it's amazing. The Cowboys have been playing a little bit more zone defense as of late. We talked about earlier in the program that they're 80% man, now seeing a little zone defense.
Houston 31-14 now. Cleveland well in control in the third quarter over Pittsburgh. 9-0 Vikings over the Colts in the fourth. And 1st and 10 for the Bengals. They lead 24-10 here in the third. Stanley Wilson gets away from Jeffcoat, but not away from Cobb. And they lose yardage back to the 45. Let's finish up the ticker. Kansas City now 17-14 as they add a Lowry field goal.
But a good job by the defense. See Jim Jeffcoat slicing down from the top of your screen on the right. He misses the tackle, but Gary Cobb is there to make it. It's amazing how a nice drive for your offense all of a sudden inspires your defense.
Loss of 3, second down 13. Here comes a lot of rush. And they get him. Ed Too Tall Jones finishes off Esiason back at the 35-yard line, and the Cowboys are breathing a little fire.
I'd say good pressure. Boomer Esiason making a good move to get away from the pressure. Too Tall Jones with great speed has 7.5 sacks on the season. Let's take another look at that. As Boomer drops back into the Bengals go to hurry-up offense looking down the field.
Throw it for Eddie Brown, and it's incomplete down at the 30-yard line. Fourth down.
Let's take another look at that last play. This is the second down play. Too Tall coming in, working on Joe Walter. Pressure up the middle. Eugene Lockhart, but Boomer Esiason rolls out. Great speed by Ed Too Tall Jones. Boomer Esiason, left-handed quarterback, going right, didn't have a chance to throw it away because he was moving to his right. And Ed Too Tall gets him, brings him down out of bounds.
Well, you're right about the speed. He was right there. Fullhag now punting from his own 21. Kelvin Martin is deep. A little bit of a low snap, but he rides it out. Fair catch and good field position for Dallas over the 30 out to the 33-yard line. Here come the Cowboys down by 14. I never thought you'd see the day that in Dallas at a Cowboy game fans would be wearing bags over their head.
And after that last touchdown run by Herschel Walker, you think they would have come off in a hurry.
I think that one youngster just took it off. 5:33, third quarter. Walker had a touchdown the last time they had the ball, and Herschel bangs out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. He started this drive with 93 yards rushing. He'll add to it on that carry, and 1 touchdown. And Tim Crumry up a little slowly, but he's okay.
And once again, Tim Crumry getting right in the middle of things. You see the Dallas offensive line, though, starting to take a little charge here in the running game, especially. Here we take another look at that. Double teaming Tim Crumry. But he still managed to get in on the lick, but Herschel Walker still made 5 years on it. The defensive line coach of the offensive Bengals says Tim Crumry is unblockable in the running game.
5 yards on first down for Walker. 2 tight ends in for Dallas. Pelor to throw. And Michael Irvin tried to come back and make the catch. And it's incomplete. Pass delivered too short by Pelor, and Irvin runs back. He made a catch the last time.
We're going to see the isolation here. Michael Irvin on Lewis Phillips as he goes down, tries to run the out and up. But I tell you what, didn't sell that play is his eyes never went to the outside. His head was always upfield, and a defensive back will know if you're not looking to the outside, you're not going to catch the football. I'm waiting for the second move.
And that's what they're looking at, their eyes?
Looking at the head, because you can't catch the football unless you're looking at it.
3rd down and 5 now for Dallas. The ball out at their own 38-yard line. And we had a wide receiver jump off. Ray Alexander released too early. Walker makes the catch. It's a 1st down, but this one's coming back. 87, Ray Alexander jumped off quickly for the Cowboys.
But again, you get enough yards for a 1st down and the completion to Herschel Walker, and the penalty is going to take it back.
There he is. He knew it, the official was right there, and he knew it as soon as the play started because he shook his head and didn't run any kind of pass route.
Well, and it's a little tough, you know, wide receiver may have trouble hearing, but you should still watch the football on the inside.
Cowboys, 9 penalties, 15 last Sunday night against Minnesota.
As we said, they're the 2nd most penalized team in the National Football League this year. Uncharacteristic of a Tom Landry coached team.
So Tom now thought he had the 1st down, and instead he's got 3rd down and 10. It's like starting all over again with only 1 down to get it with. 4:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Oh, incomplete for Kelvin Martin, and a penalty on Eric Thomas. And for the 2nd time today, Thomas ends up with his helmet off and an interference penalty called on him.
As he appeared to have tight coverage, just a little bit too tight in that situation. He was trying to make the coverage going across the field. But once again, he's not very happy about it. Let's look at it again. Steve Poor dropping back in the pocket. Pretty good pass protection this time as he fires out there. Ooh, it's tough to see that call right there. Just a tough angle to see if he did have his hands on him before the catch or not. But that's the 2nd pass interference call of the day.
1st down, Dallas, after they commit the big penalty jumping offside that time by Ray Alexander. On 3rd and 10, the incompleted pass to Kelvin Martin, but Thomas flagged for interference for Cincinnati. Fowler has it, and Fulcher has him at the 49-yard line. You know, the 1st pass interference call on Eric Thomas was very tight coverage, and it was a questionable call. What about this one?
Well, let's look at it once again. You see him coming in. Look, appeared his right hand went up there, but I think this year it doesn't make much difference. There's some contact as long as you're not controlling the receiver, and certainly he wasn't controlling the receiver with that right hand. Very, very tough call.
And you know, he was looking at the ball, which is the other key. You've got to be looking at the ball, and he was there too. 3:38 clock running, 3rd quarter, 24-10 Cincinnati. Herschel Walker spinning and diving, and gets a 1st down inside the 45 of Cincinnati. And Walker has been something here in the 2nd half.
Herschel Walker in the offensive line starting to take charge a little bit. Again, the I formation, the quick toss off tackle. He sees the cut behind the play as a couple of Bengals overrun it. He's got the speed to hit the hole, the power to take it for the 1st down.
Ken, again, Bob White, the center, controlling Crumride. Walker now over 100 yards, 106. 1st and 10, Dallas moving now at the Cincinnati 43. Herschel again, off the left side, inside the Cincinnati 40 to the 38, and up off the pack. Now to the scores. Buffalo, if they win today, they wrap up the East, and they lead on a Norwood field goal in the 4th. They'll go wild up there in Buffalo today if they wrap it up. Houston looks like they're going to get through past Phoenix. Cleveland leading 27-7. The Bears on their way to a win, and the Vikings leading over Indianapolis. Kansas City, after Seattle had tied that game, comes back with 10 more points, and here comes Herschel Walker. This time the Bengals are there. Seattle was down 14-0 to Kansas City, started the day in a 3-way tie for 1st in the AFC West. Tied that game up, but now they've fallen behind to Kansas City. Kansas City's kind of a spoiler, aren't they? Injured player Wydell, the rookie out of Boston College, the left tackle down injured. Let's take a timeout from Texas Stadium. We'll be back. 24-10. Working on the neck of number 78, Dave Wydell, the rookie left tackle on that offensive line for the Cowboys.
You know, and Nate Newton went down in the first play. Their starting left guard, Tom Rafferty, the starting center, is not playing today. He's injured. And now Dave Wydell. When you've got a young offensive line, it's tough to lose him.
Boy, Dallas quickly back to work. And so is NBC on Thursday, right back here at Texas Stadium. Houston and Dallas join us Thursday. A minute 45 left, third quarter. A big third down and 3 for the Cowboys. Pelor, incomplete, as he overshoots Ray Alexander at the 30-yard line. So now what do you do? It's fourth down and 3. The crowd says, go. Pelor looks to see. I think they are going to go.
They're taking an awful hard look at it over here, but that time Pelor had plenty of time, just did not throw a good pass out there to Alexander.
Yep, they're sending in the play with tight end Chandler coming in. Thornton Chandler brought it in from Tom Landry and Danny White. Kevin Sweeney all over there.
I think a good call to go for it in a situation like this.
Hey, you've lost 7 in a row. You're 2-9. You're not thinking playoffs. Fourth down and 3.
And the Bengals come with the house on that play.
Bye-bye, Mr. Pelor. Everybody was there. But Jim Scow was there first.
Well, normally in a situation when you take a short drop, you need to get rid of the ball quickly, but nobody open. He drops back quickly, looking for somebody, just can't find anybody. Solomon Wilcox is there to take away the slant, and the house comes caving in. Jim Scow is there among other Bengals.
All right, so that takes the air out of the balloon of the Cowboys just a bit. And here come the Bengals back up. Jim Riggs, the tight end in motion. Stanley Wilson. And he kind of looks like James Brooks on that play. So it just means one thing, and that is that that offensive line, no matter what the back is, they're opening up the big hole. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, stay tuned for the second half of our football doubleheader. Most of you will see the Broncos battle the Saints in a crucial game for 2 playoff hopefuls. Plus regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area. Second down and 1, a 9-yard gain for Wilson, who now limps to the sideline for the Bengals.
He's had a little problem with his knees this year. They've been a little tender. They tend to puff up during the week on him. He has not missed a game this year.
You know, they're pretty deep, as Ernie Stopner signals them in. They're pretty deep at running back, though. That's a nice luxury to have a guy like that, Wilson, behind Brooks.
Oh, yeah, and Ickey Woods, they've got there. Stanford Jennings, a good all-around purpose back for the Bengals. Doesn't see a lot of action.
Second down and 1. James Brooks has the first down and is pushed back. Ball is inside the Cowboy territory to the 49-yard line. In fact, they'll even give him the 48-yard line.
Joe Walton, the Bengals' right offensive tackle, coming home. His hometown is Dallas. He's hitting everybody in this play. Starts off on too tall. He loses him. He'll push on Noonan. He sees Garth Jacks. There's too tall again. He said, anybody my way, I'll go for a lick on.
First and 10, 40 seconds remaining, third quarter. You think of them as a passing team, but there the numbers tell you they're a great running team. The best in the AFC. Esiason with another beautiful fake. Looking for Collinsworth. Oh, and Robert Williams pushed him from the back, and a flag.
But once again, you see the great play-action fake by Boomer Esiason. Chris Collinsworth has man-to-man coverage. There's nobody in center field. And Robert Williams a little too aggressive.
Number 23 defense.
You see it again. He just goes right after Collinsworth and brings him down.
That ball was right there.
I think Chris would have had an easy catch. He hits it right at the top of the helmet as he's going down.
Robert Williams.
But again, the penalty hurts the Dallas Cowboys.
34 yards worth. And like Rodney Holman's been a found man in the Bengals offense, so has Collinsworth today. Ball is just inside the 15-yard line. Another fake. Look at that fake, and look at Brooks. Touchdown, Bengals.
There was nobody within 20 yards of James Brooks on that play.
But you gotta watch the ball handling of Esiason and the way he persisted to hold on to that fake.
But again, the Bengals going with their two tight end offense, which is a running formation. We've talked about it all day long. Boomer Esiason on the great fake. Look at here, there's James Brooks looking to block somebody. The great fake to Ickey Woods. He hides the ball in his stomach. You see James Brooks at the bottom of your screen slipping out. No one there. Boomer makes a little move to buy some time. The fingertip catch by James Brooks. Easy touchdown for the Bengals.
Second touchdown for Brooks. And Breach with the point after good. 17 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Boy, what a Houdini. Yeah, who is that magician handling that ball?
That's worth taking another look at here. There he is. Boomer puts the ball in his stomach. Now look at him crouched over like he's hiding the ball. Makes a nice little move to buy time. That was the key to the play, that little move at the end to buy time to find James Brooks as he filters into the end zone.
That's a good combination today. Esiason to Brooks. Rodney Holman's been a found man in the Bengals offense. So has Collinsworth today. Ball is just inside the 15-yard line. Another fake. Look at that fake, and look at Brooks. Touchdown, Bengals.
There was nobody within 20 yards of James Brooks on that play.
But you got to watch the ball handling of Esiason and the way he persisted to hold on to that fake.
But again, the Bengals going with their two tight end offense, which is a running formation. We've talked about it all day long. Boomer Esiason on the great fake. Look at here, there's James Brooks looking to block somebody. The great fake to Ickey Woods. He hides the ball in his stomach. You see James Brooks at the bottom of your screen slipping out. No one there. Boomer makes a little move to buy some time. The fingertip catch by James Brooks. Easy touchdown for the Bengals.
Second touchdown for Brooks. And Breach with the point after good. 17 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Boy, what a Houdini. Yeah, who is that magician handling that ball?
That's worth taking another look at here. There he is. Boomer puts the ball in his stomach. Now look at him crouched over like he's hiding the ball. Makes a nice little move to buy time. That was the key to the play, that little move at the end to buy time to find James Brooks as he filters into the end zone.
That's a good combination today. Esiason to Brooks. Thanksgiving Day, be sure to join NBC Sports for exciting football action beginning at 3:30 Eastern with NFL Live. Then it's a Texas shootout when the hard-hitting Houston Oilers battle Herschel Walker and these Dallas Cowboys for bragging rights of the Lone Star State. Join Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen for all the action Thanksgiving Day, only on NBC.
There's a few Bengals fans here in Dallas Stadium.
6-3 the Bills lead on a possible AFC Eastern Division clinching day in Buffalo. Houston's way up on Phoenix now, 38-14. Cleveland way up on Pittsburgh, so it looks as though the AFC Central Division standings will stay firm, with Cincinnati leading by 1 over Houston, by 2 over the Browns.
And the Bengals with a big matchup next week against the Buffalo Bills in Cincinnati.
Seattle trailing Kansas City in that big AFC Western Division game. Big for Seattle as they started the day tied for first. And Detroit, with Wayne Fontes coaching today, leading over Green Bay. Cincinnati 31-10 to the delight of those Bengal fans here at Texas Stadium. Burbage deep in his end zone, and Cornell goes down to one knee, a touchback, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line with 11 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Well, the Cowboys have to come out now and continue something on offense here, see if they can establish, get another one in the end zone and get it back close.
They went for it on 4th down the last time they had the ball, and Pelora was sacked by Jim Scow. But it was a key 4th down conversion by Pelora on the drive before that set up the Dallas touchdown by Herschel Walker, and at least momentarily got them back into the game. Pitch out. Walker rumbling to the 25 and runs into Joe Kelly.
But again, they had the seam for him on the outside and let him get to the corner for the run.
At the end of the third quarter, the score, Cincinnati 31, the Dallas Cowboys 10. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. We go to the fourth quarter. Jim Donovan, Ken Anderson at Texas Stadium, and Cincinnati leading 31-10, looking for their first win ever here at Texas Stadium. Of course, they've only played here twice. No, they have played here twice, but still looking for their first win.
Unfortunately, I was the quarterback in both of those games.
So I guess you would remember.
38-13 was as close as we got, but a much better football team from Cincinnati coming into this game.
Yeah, they've looked very good today. 31-10, they lead. Dallas with the ball. Herschel Walker with the run. And still running. And a first down. Out to the 34-yard line, and we've seen him put together a couple of those runs. Fulcher makes the tackle on Walker, and he was just one tackle away from going.
And Herschel Walker single-handedly carrying this Dallas's offense on his back. Again, breaking tackles. And there's Ray Alexander. He doesn't want to get hit by David Fulcher coming in there. Let me get out of the way. But Herschel Walker, powerful running back, and just is totally taking control of the game for the Dallas offense.
Good numbers today, 127 yards. Sometimes he has to feel like he's all alone out there, though, on offense. Valor up top, intended for Ray Alexander, incomplete. Lewis Phillips and Solomon Wilcox were there for the Bengals.
Turk Schoenert, the backup quarterback for the Bengals, made a nice catch on the sideline, though. Then we're going to watch Alexander against Lewis Phillips. Bump and run coverage. Pretty good position by Lewis Phillips. He's played good man-to-man coverage all season long. Got a little hold of his sleeve there. A little slip, he's open. The Lord just can't get him the football.
There's Turk. Got in a couple of weeks ago against Pittsburgh in the snow at Riverfront Stadium. Maybe he might get some action here in the late going. A lot of time, and that's been rare for a Cowboy quarterback today, and an underthrow by Pallor. So he was a hero about 10 minutes ago to this crowd. He was maybe the fire that was going to, the match that was going to light the fire to get it going, but now he's hearing some boos.
Well, that's the tough thing about being a quarterback in a losing season. And of course, I went through several years in Cincinnati. We had our good years, but I was there for a lot of 4 and 12 years, and you're only as good as your last play. You throw the big pass, you're a hero. You throw the incompletion, the boos come out again.
3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers in for the Cowboys. Irvin, Martin, Alexander. Oh, I don't know where he's throwing it, but he throws it right to Eric Thomas, and he's got it, an interception. And for a guy who's been flagged twice for pass interference, he lets out a lot of frustration with a spike after the interception.
Well, Eric Thomas was the closest one to that football. I have no idea who was going to. Herschel Walker was in the general vicinity. But just a poor throw, and the Bengals come up with a turnover and a chance to make a laugher out of this one.
And one of those 6 interceptions was a big one early in the season when they won at Pittsburgh. Steelers driving for a game-winning touchdown, and Thomas picked that one off. This one comes at a less crucial time, but nevertheless, he makes a nice catch.
And you get no pressure on Fuller on the play.
Esiason is still in there, and firing, and completing, too. This time it's Tim McGee. Inside the 40 at the Cowboy 37-yard line. Garth Jacks and Everson Walls over on the coverage.
You know, you had mentioned a little bit earlier, Turk Schoenert may get a chance to get into the action. Certainly with 31-10 here, I think probably a little too early to put him in. I think if the Bengals score another touchdown, you'd like to get him in the game. Turk hasn't had a chance to play much this year. With the Bengals in a playoff situation, you like to get him some sort of work. So
we'll be right back. We'll be right back to Texas.
Today's game is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Mitsubishi Motors, who invites you to come see the full line of cars and trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice. And by Planters, there's a whole lot of nutting going on. Planters.
Dallas on their way to their 8th loss in a row. Cincinnati on their way to their 9th win of the season. 2nd down and 5. Tim McGee, the injured receiver, limped over to the sideline on that last play. Holman in motion. Brooks runs. Got a first down to the Dallas 31-yard line. Ed Too Tall Jones on the tackle for the Cowboys.
You know, Pierce James Brooks had a little bit of a hole there, but Too Tall coming in with that good speed of his playing the run and jumps on his back. Let's take another look at Too Tall at the top of your screen there. Plays off the block of Max Montoya. There, Joe Walter tries to get a piece of him. But now watch his good quickness getting to the outside on James Brooks to wrap him up. That's why he's been a great player all these years, a very mobile defensive end.
First and 10 Bengals. At the 31 of Dallas, Rodney Holman in motion. Brooks sweeping near side. And he's chased out by Eugene Lockhart and tangled up in a bunch of wires over there. Jets have tied now the Bills in the fourth quarter. Houston leading in the fourth. Cleveland winning in the fourth at home. Both the Oilers and Browns at home. Chicago winning big over Tampa Bay in the fourth. And Minnesota 12-3 in the fourth. Kansas City winning, so is Detroit. Cincinnati winning here 31-10. Holding on to first place in the AFC Central Division. Coming into today, they led Houston by 1 game, Cleveland by 2, and that looks like it's going to hold firm. 12:41 left in this one. 31-10 Bengals. Esiason on second down at 8 to Brooks, and he's immediately hit. Garth Jacks, the linebacker out of Florida State, up to make the hit on Brooks. Brooks and Jacks wishing each other happy Thanksgiving.
I think what happened with that play, Boomer Esiason saw strong safety Bill Bates on the line of scrimmage. He went to the audible. After Boomer audibleized, Bates jumped back, changed coverages, and there was nobody open downfield as Boomer dumped the ball off to Brooks.
So now there's 12:10 left. When has Sam White seen enough of Boomer Esiason for the day?
When they get their next touchdown.
Which could be soon. 31-10 Bengals. Eddie Brown over to the sideline. Chris Collinsworth is in. Boy, Boomer still putting it up. And Rodney Holman makes the catch at the 20-yard line and then barrels down to the 15.
Well, all of a sudden, Rodney Holman has become a big part of the Bengals offense this afternoon. One of the underrated tight ends. We got Rodney Holman split out on this play as he goes down, just cuts across the middle, and he is wide open. The Cowboys playing a zone defense. He gets behind Eugene Lockhart for the catch.
What a day for Holman. Look at those numbers. 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 81 yards.
And again, you know, Dallas an 80% man coverage team. That time they play the zone and they get hurt.
All right, what will Boomer do as he looks it over? First and 10 at the 15. Ickey Woods. 5 more yards down to the 10.
You know, you had mentioned earlier about when has he had enough of Boomer Esiason seeing him in the game. I think there comes a point in time you don't want your starting quarterback getting hurt late in the season, especially in a blowout. And number 2, you'd like your backup to get some game experience. What happens next week if Boomer goes down? You'd like to have a guy like Turk Schoner with a little game type experience. So I would expect that Turk will get a little playing time sometime before this afternoon's over with.
Second down and 5, ball at the 10. 10 and a half left. Jim Riggs, 87 in motion. Ickey Woods to the 5 and in, touchdown. And once he got inside the 5, there was a little bit of lethargic tackling by the Cowboys there.
So once again, Tom Landry can't believe what's happening to his defense out there today. As he's talking with Steve Flohr about the next offensive series. But the Bengals offensive line giving the running backs the line of scrimmage. As Ickey Woods starts off left, good surge, Max Montoya, Bruce Kazurski, there's Joe Walter coming off. You see he's 5 yards down the field before anybody comes close to getting a hand on him, and then nobody could make the tackle as Ickey Woods gets the touchdown.
Boy, Michael Downs and Everson Walls just kind of gave him a love tap when he went by, as Woods was not going to be denied. Jim Breach getting a workout today, bangs it through, and the Cincinnati Bengals cruising now.
Sunday, the NFL plays here. The Bills' Jim Kelly goes eye-to-eye with the Bengals' Boomer Esiason in a shootout between the top 2 powerhouses of the AFC.
Or it's a must-win game for 2 playoff hopefuls when the Browns head to the nation's capital to battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
10:22 left, 38-10, Cincinnati in the lead. Gone is the white baseball cap, on is the Bengals playing helmet, and that's Turk Schoner. So we have to think he'll be in next time around for the Bengals as they kick it away Oh, good kickoff by Lee Johnson as it squibbles out of bounds, but in the end zone, so it will come out to the 20-yard line. What do the Bengals have left in the regular season? Look at that one next week.
Some big games for them. Buffalo next week, but it's at home. 2 in a row at home. Then they got to go down to Houston, which will be a very difficult place to play before they finish up with the Redskins back in Cincinnati.
Got a couple of tickets to that game next week?
I can take care of you.
Yeah. 10-1 Buffalo. And winning today, or rather tied today, excuse me, with the Jets. No, there's the scoring drive. Ickey Woods gets the touchdown. Cowboys back to work at their own 20. 10-17 left. Thornton Chandler in motion. A flag goes down as Herschel Walker runs it out to the 25-yard line, and there are flags all over the place.
Well, Michael Irvin moved as the man was in motion, and then nobody came to a stop, so you got a double motion. That'd be a penalty.
Illegal shift. 2 men moving, not resetting before the snap.
Very good. Very good by you.
As the official said, if you have 2 men in motion, that is legal as long as you stop and reset for a second. That time the Cowboys didn't.
Boy, this has got to be just what the doctor ordered for the Bengals to come in and play this well before that big a game next week.
Well, especially on the road. They've lost their last 3. They're 3-5 and lost 3 of their last 5 football games. So it boosts their confidence. You know, gives them a little momentum going into that Buffalo game, which should be a great one.
1st and 15. Of course, the Cowboys have the shortest of practice weeks, along with the Oilers. They're back to work here Thursday. Right here on NBC on Thanksgiving Day. Walker with a little tipsy-do. Out over the 25-yard line. Leo Barker has to say, hey, that's not fair. 53, Barker was in good shape, ready to meet Herschel head for head, and then did a little twist on him.
Not only is Herschel Walker their leading rusher, also tied for their leading receiver going into this game. Watch the move. Little spin move on Leo Barker. Herschel Walker, I mean, you can't say enough about this guy, and he's got to be so frustrated. 2-9 season for the Dallas Cowboys, and yet he keeps putting numbers on the board.
Boy, that says it all. One-man team? Maybe. 2nd down and 1. From the 29, 9:05 left. 3 tight ends in for the Cowboys. Ooh, Walker took a stick from Lewis Phillips. You could hear that one, and he gets the 1st down over the 30.
Lewis Phillips coming up on the play. He's only a 190-pounder trying to take on Herschel Walker. What about 225, 230? It's a mismatch.
Very impressed, Ken, with Phillips and Thomas today. Both corners have had good ball games here for the Bengals.
You know, they started off the season very strong in that first 6-game stretch. A lot of interceptions. The last couple of weeks, not the turnovers, but they've come back with very tight coverage this afternoon.
Darryl Clack in the backfield now for the Cowboys. Pelor throwing, and wide open is Thornton Chandler. Down to the 47 of Cincinnati, and a 1st down. Tackle made by David Fulcher. There's Chandler, 89. First activity for him today. Receiving, anyway.
Yeah, but Pelor threw that ball with authority. You know, you go back there, you get your feet set, and you let it rip out there, and he threw a strike. Here again, a little play-action pass, good separation. Look at him step into the football right now. And Thornton Chandler comes up with a catch. A big hole in the Bengals' own defense.
20-yard pickup down to the 46 of Cincinnati. 1st and 10. Again, it's Darryl Clack. He's the tailback in that I formation for the Cowboys. Look out. Oh, what a hit by Fulcher. And Fowler held on to the ball, and that's a miracle. And Fulcher, I think, took the worst of the hit. That's why you hear the roar. He's getting up slowly.
This is a big-time collision right here. You get a chance to see it very closely. Little play-action pass. He's forced to throw the ball quickly. And there, David Fulcher, one of the big hitters at strong safety, having a fine year, comes up, and that is a collision right there with Fowler.
Fulcher was getting up and then kind of halfway got up, and you see he was kind of a little bit wide-eyed right there. Let's see if he can get himself pulled back together as the Bengals continue to win big.
It's a jungle out there. You can survive with the new 4-door Mitsubishi Montero.
We pause briefly right now for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Your #1 sports station in Cincinnati, WLWT.
Donovan and Ken Anderson, Texas Stadium. Dallas trailing the Bengals 38-10 on second down and 7. Pelur throwing long. Incomplete. Ray Alexander is the intended receiver. Eric Thomas, who has an interception. And Steve Pelur looking on as he tried to go big upstairs for Alexander. Jets have the ball at the 50-yard line with 2.5 minutes to go in that game, and a tie 6-6. Phoenix adds a touchdown, but probably going to be too little too late. And Cleveland winning over Pittsburgh. And Chicago's going to win that one. And Indianapolis's 5-game winning streak is over. Minnesota beats them with 4 field goals. Hey, Seattle's tied that game up now, 24-24 with Kansas City. And Detroit leading over Green Bay as the Seahawks come back in big-time fashion. That's Darryl Clark. And he goes inside the 40 down to the Cincinnati 38-yard line on third down and 7, so it will be fourth down, and you got to think the Cowboys will go again.
Oh, there's no question about it at this point in the football game that they're going to go for it. But interesting call. Tried to set up the screen pass on third down. The Bengals in a little bit of a blitz and just couldn't quite get the men out in front of it to get started. Danny White adding his 2 cents worth over in there, giving Tom Landry his suggestions, and certainly Danny White has been a good quarterback in this league for a lot of years.
Well, those are some pretty wild signals going out there. Looked like he was holding up like binoculars at one time.
Does that mean I can't see you call the play?
Let's go to New York for an NFL Live update. We go to Gail Gardner.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. We're going to take a look at the tying touchdown at Arrowhead Stadium. The Seahawks and the Chiefs. Dave Craig back to pass, finds the rookie Brian Blades over the middle, 14-yard touchdown. The score is tied at 24 apiece. Let's go back to Dallas.
Boy, who's going to win that AFC West? That thing is really up for grabs. Does anybody want it?
Nobody wants to take charge and step up to the forefront there.
A couple of weeks ago, Denver looked like they were done. Then they come back the last couple of weeks, beat Kansas City, and blow Cleveland away.
Yeah, but what the AFC West did last week, they handled the AFC Central Division in every category, and that opened the wild card possibilities up for everybody.
All right, now Seattle is tied. Denver up at the top, the Raiders, and of course Seattle in a real war now with Kansas City after falling way behind. They've been behind a couple of times in that game, but they just won't quit.
So there's a lot of possibilities for the playoffs still lurking around the National Football League, especially in the AFC Conference.
Sam White, his team up atop the AFC Central Division, and they're going to stay there after today. Turk Schoenert had the helmet on. Now he's got the white hat back on, and Boomer Esiason still looks like he might go in and play. Have to watch that. Right now we're watching the Cowboys on fourth down and less than 2. And Michael Irvin is open inside the 10-yard line. Well-thrown ball by Pelur. First and goal at the 8.
I tell you what, a gutsy call by the Dallas coaching staff. It's fourth down and short, and they go with the long pass, but Michael Irvin was wide open for the big play.
29 yards.
You see the play-action pass? You kind of lose them back there in the massive bodies, but Michael Irvin coming wide open here. Nobody in the area as David Fulcher comes over to make the play, stops the touchdown.
So it is a young Cowboy team. Very, very young at wide receiver.
But a lot of talent there.
Irvin, who just made the catch, is in motion. Pelur drops it, picks it up. Takes a big stick from Solomon Wilcox at the 9. The play is going to lose 1, but they almost lost the football.
The price the quarterback pays when he drops the football, you scramble for your life, and that's when you get a good shot taken at you. Solomon Wilcox comes up. Steve Pelur got to be a little bit frustrated. Nothing more embarrassing when the quarterback and center can't handle the exchange. This looks like he never got a grasp of the ball there. Jim Scout trying to chase him down, and here comes Solomon Wilcox to put the hit on.
So it's back near the 10. Second down and goal. A lot of time. What's he going to do? He's going to go down with Reggie Williams draped in his ankles and Michael Irvin saying, "Oh, if you had only seen me, because I'm wide open."
He was there. Pelur just couldn't find him. Let's take a look at Michael Irvin, see if he is wide open. He comes down there, goes to the back of the end zone. Lewis Phillips thinks he's got help back there. There's nobody there but Michael Irvin. He's waving his hands, jumping up and down. I think Lewis Phillips lost track of where he was on the field. Maybe he should have been in the end zone. Throw me the ball. Oh. Missed opportunities.
Boy, a lot of energy wasted in those leaps. As he comes back out wide, it's 3rd down and goal, back at the 14 now. He stuck it in there, and the ball is caught by Everett Gay, his first catch, but it will be 4th down now, and it's at the 6. Tackle made by Barney Bussey.
Barney Bussey had tight coverage on that play, but Steve Flores throws it in there, puts it on the right side into tight coverage for the completion.
Well, I guess they just can't hope now that Irvin would be that wide open again. That would be the obvious play you'd look to.
Oh. Again, you know, we sit up here, we see all the open receivers. When you're down on the field as a quarterback with all those bodies coming around you, it's a little bit more difficult.
He really missed him, though, because he did have a lot of time before he finally went down on that play. It's 4th down and goal from the 6. Looking for Alexander. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown!
Throws the ball into double coverage. It's tipped up, and Ray Alexander catches it on his back in the end zone. They say, where have those plays been all year long?
That was a sensational grab by Ray Alexander.
I've never quite seen one like that, catching a ball laying on your back in the end zone as the ball was tipped up and about in the air.
Bruzek for the extra point out of the hold of Kalor. And he gets it. Ray Alexander, 6-yard touchdown reception. Let's watch this one again.
Watch, there's double coverage here by the Bengals second. It looks like he's trying to throw the fade to the outside. He stumbles. Look, great leaping ability. Tips it twice. The 3rd time brings it right into his body as the Bengals defenders fall over each other, and there's Ray Alexander spiking the football. There goes Steve Flores throwing it up for grabs somewhat right there, watching for the outcome. He sees it tipped a couple times. Yes, hands in the air. No problem. Easy touchdown pass.
It's worth one more look, isn't it?
You can see 2 Bengal defenders in the area, but a great leap by Ray Alexander. How he caught that football, I'll never know.
You know, at the end of that play, the only battle was between Alexander and the football. 38-17. Dallas gets back up on the board. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, stay tuned for the second half of our football doubleheader. Most of you will see the Denver Broncos battle the New Orleans Saints in a crucial game for 2 playoff hopefuls, plus regional action. So check local listings for the game in your area. 38-17, Cincinnati with 4:46 remaining here at Texas Stadium. Well, both Cowboy touchdowns have been sensational. A great run by Walker from 11 yards, and then that tremendous athletic catch by Ray Alexander.
Bengals send their hands team on the field as they're alert for the onside kick.
Always exciting. Here it is. Bruzek. Ball was caught by the Bengals, lost, and the Cowboys have it at midfield.
It appeared Collinsworth had it initially. The ball was high, and the massive bodies hit him, and the ball popped loose. Now they're trying to unpile.
It's Brian Diossi who has it, or Steve Diossi has it, rather. There's Steve Diossi, a special teams player and a good one for the Cowboys. Here it is again. Bruzek with the onside kick. First of all, it was a good kick. Watch the big bounce.
Gets the great bounce right here. The ball goes high. Collinsworth has it for a minute. Well, he doesn't have it. He never had the grasp of it when the wave of body hit. That's one team you don't want to be on. You're down there. The game is always on the line. You know you're going to get smeared by somebody.
So Landry's Cowboys get the big turnover on the onside kick, and they've got the ball at the 50-yard line with 4:41 left to go. 3 wide receivers into the game. Haven't seen Herschel Walker in a long time. It's been Clack in that backfield. Here's Pelor, and here comes Clack. First down, taken out by Dixon inside the Cincinnati 40 to the 38-yard line. Cowboys on the move, and we move around the league. They're in overtime in Buffalo. That's tied 6-6. Houston on their way to a win in the Astrodome. Cleveland won. Minnesota wins. 12-3. Indianapolis had won 5 in a row. Green Bay loses to Detroit. Wayne Fontes, he might not be the interim coach, right? Late games have started now. Saints lead over Denver 7-0, and the Eagles over the Giants 7-0. NFC Eastern Division well up for grabs there as the Eagles try and cash in. Here comes Clark. Down to the 20-yard line. Darryl Clark, the third-year running back out of Arizona State. On 2 big plays. He caught the pass, and now a big run up the gut.
And Darryl with only 3 carries going into this football game, but again goes roaring through the line like Herschel Walker.
38-17. Let's see if they can get it back into the end zone. Pelor racing around. It's caught by Irvin. Dives. He's down at the 1-yard line. Inside the 1.
Great individual effort by Michael Irvin as he went around half the Cincinnati Bengals team after he made that catch. Well, let's take another look. He slips coming off the line of scrimmage. Lewis Phillips has inside help, but he gets in front of David Fulcher. That's the man that's supposed to take away the inside play. Now watch the run. Missed tackle. Turns it up, tripped up, can't quite stick it in. Great individual effort by Michael Irvin.
Barney Bussey brought him down inside the 1. There's Irvin. 3:19 left. First and goal. Clack and Fowler in the backfield. Now the play clock showed nothing. They had run down to 0. Pelor saw that. There it is. That was at 0 when he called the timeout, but I don't think the officials saw that unless the clock wasn't set properly.
Well, one thing, the quarterback does not have to raise up his hands to call timeout, as Sam White is saying that. Most of the time, the official's right in front of the umpire. You can say timeout, and then he'll give it to you. But Sam White said there was no time left on the clock.
When they were up at the line of scrimmage before he called timeout, the clock was already down to 0. Then Pelor looked up and immediately called the timeout. The official gave it to him, and there was no flag thrown.
Well, one of the things I learned as a quarterback, when you're there, if you bring your hands away from center to call timeout and somebody jumps, you can be called for illegal procedure. So it's almost best sometimes to leave your hands there, give the voice signal to the official that you want timeout, and then go ahead and put him up when he's giving you the timeout. Now, whether that happened or not, I don't know.
Sam's saying, hey, I'm telling you, according to my watch, they were late starting that play.
Well, certainly the Bengals don't want to take any chances. I mean, they don't want to let this thing get out of hand and blow one when they've got a commanding lead with just over 3 minutes to go here. I think Sam getting a little bit nervous on the sideline.
I am not going to charge Dallas with that timeout. There was confusion with the clock, the down clock at this end of the field. So there's no charge on the time.
All right, you heard that?
The clock on the ready.
There was some problems, he's saying, with the clock down at this end of the field, right behind the Bengal defense. So now the Cowboys don't even get charged with that timeout.
The best of all worlds.
Yeah, from inside the 1, Pelor throwing, touchdown! Thornton Chandler, the tight end.
Well, the Cowboys coming out on first and goal at the 1-yard line, come out throwing the football. I think that's what you have to do. You can't waste time off the clock by having, if it takes you 3 times to get in, you use up a lot of time, come out throwing, and they complete it for the touchdown. There you see it again, the play action fake. T4 looking to his right, coming back over the middle as he finds Thornton Chandler for the touchdown.
Bruzek for the extra point. Chandler to the sideline, and the high fives everywhere. It's good. And it's now 38-24. There's a flag down, though, on the kick.
But the Dallas offense coming to life late in this football game.
Against Dallas, as you saw it.
Tripping, number 54 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat the try.
It's on Randy White. So now it becomes kind of like a little bit longer. It's like a field goal try now is what I'm trying to say. Randy White arguing on the call.
Said my feet aren't that big to trip anybody.
So the snap will come now from over the 10 at about the 12.5-yard line. And Ruzek's got a little work left to be done out of the hold of Pelor. It's like a 30-yard field goal now. But just for 1 point. Boy, he just got that through. That just got around that upright, and he knows it.
Well, that puts the score at 38-24. As we'll take one more look at the touchdown. But again, set up with the play action fake by Steve Pelor. The clock going across the line of scrimmage. He's looking all over for somebody. And finally finds Thornton Chandler in the back of the end zone. Knew exactly where he was. Didn't get too close. We had to worry about his feet. Stayed about 1.5 yards, 2 yards from the end line. And that's all it took.
Coming up next on most of these NBC stations. Stay tuned. Second half of our doubleheader ready to come your way. Most of you are going to see Denver battle the Saints in a crucial game for 2 playoff hopefuls, or San Diego and the Rams in Anaheim. That's all next right here on NBC, right after the Cowboys and Bengals finish up.
Sam White still not satisfied with that call by the officials down in the goal line where they called timeout. But now it goes down. The hands team is back onto the field for Cincinnati, and you know it's going to be an onside kick.
One of Sam's assistants getting over there and pulling him back. Let's take a look at the Bengal report card for this game. Boomer Esiason, he's going to get back out on the field. That's what Boomer did on the day. 205 yards, 3 TDs. James Brooks, 146 yards. He had 121 at halftime. Coleman, 2 touchdown passes as the tight end reappears, and Jim Breach with the field goal.
Big offensive day by Cincinnati, led by Boomer Esiason. He's having a fine year as he leads all AFC quarterbacks.
Onside kick number 2 now. Number 1 works for the Cowboys. Cincinnati's on this one.
I don't. The ball never went 10
yards anyway. I don't. And plus, the Cowboys were trying to stay out of the way of it as Ruzek kicked it more towards his team, and they were trying to avoid the ball hitting them. And I don't think it did go 10 yards.
It looked like they sent about 6 players down along the sideline. The ball never got out in front of them and kind of got stuck in the pile.
Illegal touch of the kick before it went 10 yards. On the first onside kick, it is 5 yards and re-kick. That's automatic. Should it happen on the second, there's an option for the receiving team.
There you see the kick going towards the sideline. The Cowboys trying to avoid it, but it touches someone's leg in there. The illegal touch before it goes 10 yards.
Boy, I bet Cincinnati would just rather have the ball.
Which, if it happens again,
instead of going,
they will have that option. No choice in the first one. If it would have gone out of bounds, they could have taken the ball at the spot.
And then I don't think they started the clock at all.
Oh, my God. Oh, look at this. That's hitting 3 Bengals and going out of bounds, and they'll have the ball. 3 of them went after the ball. Boom, boom, boom. And they finally just knocked it out of bounds.
Well, the Bengals will take possession now. There you see it going down, the ball going there. There's one Bengal that touches it. Chris Collinsworth leaps for it. Now, Stanford Jennings playing a little volleyball, hitting it out of bounds, but he knew that the players were coming in. He said, all I want to do is get this football out of bounds.
Cowboys quarterbacks, they used 2. Sweeney started, Pelor relieved. That's what they did today. Herschel Walker, 131 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. The rookie Irvin looked good receiving. And Ruzek, 1 for 1. And some pretty exciting onside kicks, too. James Brooks. Cowboys will immediately call a timeout. 2:42 left. And according to the scoreboard now, they'll have one left. Buffalo has won the AFC Eastern Division in overtime. Without a touchdown, they do it over the Jets. 9-6. Scott Norwood kicks the winning field goal. Houston has won. Cleveland wins. The Bears win. And the Vikings in another game that had nothing but field goals in it. Where'd all the offense go, Ken?
I don't know.
Kansas City beats Seattle. New Orleans jumps out at home over Denver. And the Giants tie up the Eagles 7-7. San Diego and the Rams 14-7 in the first quarter. And the Raiders and Falcons right now 0-0. 38-24 here, Bengals and Cowboys. You'll be getting your second game of the doubleheader right after this one with 2:42 left.
We had talked earlier about Turk Schoenert warming up, but 2 quick scores by the Dallas Cowboys. Boomer Esiason is going to finish this one up for the Bengals today.
Ball is at the 44-yard line. Riggs in motion. Brooks back to work. Tackled by Bill Bates. And the Cowboys call another timeout.
Just when it looked like James Brooks had an opening, Bill Bates comes up and makes the big play.
All right, now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP is James Brooks from the Cincinnati Bengals. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game. Congratulations, James Brooks.
Here we see one of James Brooks' big plays of the day as he takes the ball to the outside, cuts it up, gets a couple of good blocks from his teammates. Then he turns on the Jets, and nobody's going to catch him. Big afternoon for James Brooks.
That was a 51-yard touchdown run by James Brooks. Thought he might get a little bench time here, but Cowboys came back into the game. Remember, coming up after at the conclusion of this game, you'll be getting your second game. Some of you, the Broncos and Saints. The rest of you will get San Diego and the Rams from Anaheim. At the conclusion of the Bengals and Cowboys, 2:35 left here at Texas Stadium. Third down and 8. Oh, boy, what a mess that play was. Collinsworth jumped off, didn't get flagged for it. Clock didn't start. Snap came up late. Ball fell down.
Looked like several of the Bengals moved in the interior of the line, and not a smooth way to try to run out the clock if you're the Bengals.
Looked like exhibition game number 1 of the season.
You know, the thing is, with the 45-second clock now, the advantage really is to the team in the lead because they can use up more time off the clock as the game comes down to a conclusion.
Now, this isn't really a good finish for Cincinnati. They had played very well until the late stages of this game, and you don't have a real good feeling about the way you finish.
Well, I think the offense feels very good because they haven't been on the field lately. So they finished strong today. But the defense, you know, a couple of question marks as Dallas gets a couple of quick scores to end it up.
Now we'll go right down to the 2-minute warning. There it is. 2 minutes left to go. And we'll be back with the final 2 minutes here from Texas Stadium right after this timeout. For Cincinnati, just when you thought it was going to be an easy day, they were ahead 38-10. Now it's 38-24 as the Cowboys have come out with a couple of late touchdowns, but they're still only 2 minutes away from the win.
Well, a good day for the Bengals offense. They did a lot of different things. They threw the ball well. They ran it effectively. James Brooks was the big afternoon. And Dallas, the positive side, they'd had trouble scoring points all year. It came a little bit too late, but they finally got some touchdowns.
Boy, give the Cowboys some credit. They hung in there. They fought hard, and they got those late touchdowns that added some spark so they can build towards Thursday's Thanksgiving Day special against the Houston Oilers. Cowboys are 14-5-1 on Thanksgiving Day. Very, very tough here. Sam Weich has been ticked off since that play clock ran out when Dallas was going for their last touchdown, and the penalty was not whistled down. Dallas called for a timeout, and the officials didn't even charge him for that because they said there was a problem with the clock. Fullhag punched the ball for the Bengals. It hits at about the 19-yard line, and it rolls out at the 17, and the Cowboys get it back with 1:54 left, but they have no timeouts. Steve Pallor back out onto the field. Boy, the Saints off quickly against Denver. Some of you will be joining that game in the first quarter down in the Superdome where the Saints are super tough. And Philadelphia and the Giants tied 7-7. Other games just getting started. San Diego with Mark Vlasic at quarterback, got his first start last week. That would be a big upset. And some of our audience will be going out to watch the Chargers and Rams. Atlanta and the Raiders scoreless. Steve Pelor back to pass. Out of the pocket. Look at Crumry try and chase down Steve Pelor, but he never gave up, did he? 69 was rumbling across that field, then finally said, ah, heck, he's going to go out of bounds anyway.
Just not quite fast enough to make the big play on Steve Pelor, but he was trying awful hard. Here we go, Ray Alexander, as he comes off the line of scrimmage against Ricky Dixon. He gets down there. There's a big void in the zone as the Bengals are playing loose. He's waving his hands. Pelor just doesn't have a chance to see him. And again, another wide-open Cowboy receiver that can't get the football.
4 receivers into the game now for the Cowboys. Pelor ran for a first down, 1:46 left. He has to unload this one, and he does. And Darryl Clack makes the catch out to the 38-yard line. And the Cowboys hustle back up to the line of scrimmage again.
They're out of timeout.
Clock running, 1:25 now left. Pelor. And they get him. Looks like it's Jason Buck or David Gray. It's Buck. Buck got him from the outside.
And for Jason Buck, 4.5 sacks now on the year. He's kind of the Bengals' designated pass rusher. Comes in the obvious passing situations to play defensive end.
Cowboys cannot stop the clock with a timeout. They're out of timeouts. He unloads for Kelvin Martin. Incomplete. Pass was delivered short down at the 45 of Cincinnati. 1:09 left.
As Kelvin Martin almost makes the sliding catch going across the field. Tom Landry trying to decide what he wants to call in a situation like this. Hoping that they come up with a big play, some sort of miraculous finish.
Kelvin Edwards back into the lineup. Sam White still talking with the officials.
He's been known to get on the officials every once in a while.
There he is. He's just not giving it up. Wants to make sure they understand his point of view. And he says, I think you do now, huh?
We'll make up now.
Yeah. 1:09 left. Here's Pelor back to pass on 3rd down. Out it goes to Clack. He did not get the first down, but he goes out of bounds and stops the clock at the 45-yard line. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NBC's football is Ted Nathanson. The coordinating producer of NFL Live is John J. Filippelli. Today's game was produced by George Finkel, directed by Bob Levy. NFL Live produced by Rick Diamond and Tom Roy. NFL Live directed by Mary Buda Lamusio. Technical director Skip Thresh and Richard Sansadou. 4th down and 3. Pelor trying to get out of there. Didn't get out of there. Bengals on top of him. Jason Buck, David Grant there with under a minute to go, 55 seconds. Cincinnati will get the ball back and just run it out now.
And you see the old fall down formation by the Cincinnati Bengals. And now you can light up the cigar officially.
Tom Landry under fire. Team about to lose their 8th game in a row. Signed a 3-year contract. Felt it was a rebuilding project. 3 years to get things turned around, and he doesn't want to leave the Cowboys when the team is down.
And they are a young football team. We got a chance to talk with Tom yesterday, but a lot of young talent that needs to learn how to win. And obviously they got behind the Cincinnati Bengals, who are on a little bit of a roll this afternoon. But I think things will be brighter in Dallas.
One thing Landry said yesterday that was interesting, he said that the worst thing that happened to his team was the finish last year, that they ended up in 2nd place in the NFC Eastern Division because of tiebreakers. They were tied with a number of people, but ended up as the 2nd place team and got an awful tough schedule down the wire.
He said, we're playing all playoff teams this year. He said, that's very tough on a young football team. How about the longest losing streak in Dallas history since 1960. That streak at that time went to 10. Dallas now at 8.
Sam White is a winner today. As the Bengals are on their way back to Cincinnati, they'll play Buffalo next week in what should be an AFC showdown. Cincinnati, after losing in Kansas City last week, wanted to win on the road, and those numbers say they did quite effectively. The final score, the Cincinnati Bengals 38, the Dallas Cowboys 24. Stay tuned for the NBC Sports second game of the doubleheader. You'll see one of these games next. Denver, New Orleans, San Diego, and the Rams. For Ken Anderson, this is Jim Donovan. Goodbye from Texas Stadium.